It's really weird. It said, I should screenshot that actually. It said Gia joined, and then it said Velma's Gia. Hey, Amy. Just gonna bullshit a little bit, and Heidi's gonna come up in a little bit after she gets the kids to sleep. There's Peachy. Hi, Peach. Oh, I gotta find my lighter. Oh, hold on. Where's that Peach? Hey, girl. Hey. Hi, love.
Hi. Hey,
How are you?
I'm good. How are y'all?
I'm
Good.
I'm okay. I'm okay. Just gonna bullshit, I guess, for a little bit. I know Heinz is gonna come
Yeah.
up. Oh,
Yeah.
my neighbors. Oh my God, my neighbors are so loud. Jesus. So what's going on?
Nothing.
Everybody gonna get warm weather tomorrow? It's supposed to be almost 80 here tomorrow.
I
Same.
haven't even looked at the weather. I think it's supposed to be nice. I guess I'll be maybe taking my boys to the. Are they open tomorrow? D&B?
To the what? Hi, Goose.
Uh-oh.
What's up?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, the twins just turned 15 and they are itching to get their learner's license. And I'm like, I don't
Um,
know. So I guess we'll
uh,
figure that out. If it's not tomorrow, I'll do it next weekend. Maybe. Anywho, yeah, they're itching.
Have they been practicing, or do they have to drive first, or do they just take the test first?
uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I was muted. They have to study like a little pamphlet and take a written test first. And then they drive with the learners for a year before they get their driver's license here in Georgia.
Oh, gosh.
hmm
They're going to be fighting over your car.
They're already fighting over who's going to have what vehicle already.
Oh,
They
jeez.
have been for like the last year. Who's going to drive what?
Pre-fighting. That's hilarious.
hmm
That's hilarious.
They sure
Oh.
have.
Guys, bear with me a second. I lost something over here in my office. I cannot find it. Oh, there it is. Got it. Okay. So anyway, okay, so I was gonna ask something and I can't remember what it is. I know we gotta wait a little bit for Heinzie, but
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just sharing it out. Y'all
yeah,
tap and share. I'm just trying to
yeah.
share it out to folks.
I wanted to ask something and I can't remember what the hell it was though.
Put
Oh, I
SLG
wanted
in
to
here.
ask because I think I'm kind of with you. I mean, we could talk about it briefly, right? So like,
Yeah.
I'm kind of with you, Peach. Like, I kind of I'm not convinced that they were specific targets.
Mm-hmm.
Like I kind of think he just wanted to do the act
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he definitely premeditated. I think he wanted to do it for a long time. And I feel, and listen, I mean, obviously I could be wrong. I feel like I feel like the mask and the K-bar and the sheath and the sharpener, that because they were purchased months before, I'm kind of like, am I onto something? Like, was he getting his ducks in a row? He had been planning on it, just didn't have, I'll do it when I move. I'll do it when I go to WSU. And then
Right.
later he chose Moscow.
Right.
And then he chose his victims. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of what I think.
Like they were later on his list of things.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think he wanted to do what he wanted to do. I don't I I'm not convinced that he knew who it was until it was.
Hmm.
Hey
Yeah.
Lisa. I don't know.
I watched a documentary, it's been a long time ago, and it was an interview with Dennis Rader, BTK, and he talked about how, and it was a personal interview, and he talked
Right.
about how he didn't have any one specific, like he didn't really stalk. Hey, Alicia May, that he could go years and that he would just be in he could go to the grocery store and see someone and hyper focus on that person, and that would be his victim, his next victim. Like
Right.
he And that's so scary that you can just go to the grocery store
Yeah.
and someone see you and know that's my next victim. And
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
not done it for years before. And I just, you know,
Yeah, just random. Yeah.
yeah. So while I think that he wanted to do it and he was planning on doing it, I think maybe I do think something happened. Maybe something triggered him, and when he finally chose, I'm gonna do it. But
Right.
and maybe he picked them out weeks before. I mean, I really need to look at the timeline again and how often and when he was at the house, what that timeline is and how
Yeah.
far it
Yeah.
goes back, because I want to know, was he primarily only in that area, or did they trace him like in a wider scope, not just you know what I mean? Like, that just makes
Yeah.
me wonder, like, was he looking at other potential victims and then
Right.
focused
And
on
that
them?
seemed to
Like,
be
those are
the
the things I'm
easiest.
thinking about.
Right. Right.
Right. Yeah.
Hey Peach, I'm sorry. Um oh, you might not even know. I can know you hate going live. Do you know how to make the boxes smaller? I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, so I think if you go to the multi-guest,
Multi-guess.
like where the people, I think.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Niho. Yeah, there you
Oh, I
go.
see it. I see it. I see it.
Hmm.
Okay. Oh, that didn't really help. I was trying to. I was. Oh, thanks, Goose. I was trying. I wanted to see the comments a little better, but whatever. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Amy did it. Goose did it. I did it.
Yeah, I don't
Teamwork.
know. I don't know, Shonda. I don't know that we can really say what he would or wouldn't have done. I mean, I think that uh, maybe it's possible he didn't think of that. Criminals, they get caught because they mess up,
Right.
because they forget things, like a sheath under a body.
Yeah.
So let me think. Panel makes the. Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to figure it out, Shannon. I don't know. So,
And maybe she's right. I don't know. But it's just a theory I have, you know.
let me ask you this. If it wasn't for that cheese, there you go. Thank you. Do you think anybody would have gotten arrested?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I think so only because of the car.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah.
I think like if they
I
would have
don't
kept
know.
going down the list of like people with that kind of car, and it would have like really dwindled it down too.
Right. I don't
You know,
know.
maybe he would have. Maybe it wouldn't have mattered. Maybe he would have because really I think although, that they didn't call 911 when they should have, and I know we've all talked about the recent things that have been dropped in regards to that, and I don't typically like to talk about the roommates, but if we're gonna but it is a part of it,
It
and
is,
the
yeah.
bushy eyebrows is a big deal.
I
And I
agree.
think we talked about it in one of the last lives we had. I think it might have been Neho's live. I can't remember. No, it was Alyssa's live. And that was a topic. And it
Right.
is a big deal.
It is.
Because when he, was it? It was the other school and the parking and the car and all that stuff. Like he matched the description, right? In the car with the bushy
Right.
eyebrows. So I don't know. I don't know. That's a good one. That's a good question.
Oh, wow. I don't usually have them. Well, I can't
You
comment for
did.
some reason,
That's
so
good.
thank you all for the gifts. My comment box is not
You can't
there,
comment in
so
that. Yeah, mine does that too when I go live
yeah,
sometimes. Maybe if you hit on the multi-guest again, or maybe the options, it might give you an option to open that up because I feel like that's happened to me before.
it's okay. It's all right. I just want to say thank everybody for the gifts. That's all. But
It's weird being in a box, even. I feel like I haven't been live in so long,
yeah,
or even in a box.
well,
Well,
I
it was,
think
I guess, a couple weeks ago.
last time I was live was Christmas, but I don't really go live anyway. I just kind of felt like it was safe to do that. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just getting like it's hard to even scroll, to be honest with you.
Yeah, some days, yes.
It's
I
just
agree. I don't go into a lot of really lives anymore just because you know, I just don't.
I know. Ugh. I don't even know what
Yeah.
dropped today. Like I saw them drop, but I didn't even look. I can't. It's hard for me to even look because I
Mm-hmm.
just had this conversation with Velma like a half hour ago. I'm like, I hate reading. I absolutely hate it. I wish I didn't, but I do.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is like I'll start to read something, and after like three or four words, I like want to know what's coming next, so I skip. So
Mm-hmm.
like I miss everything, like you can't go back
Mm-hmm.
and read the words that you miss. You got to go back and read it all from the beginning again. Like it's just nothing major dropped today. Oh,
I'm pulling it.
well, I don't know. That's why I like. I know I kind of count on Hindsight because I know she reads through them with a fine tooth comb.
My God, she was reading them all day, I think.
No,
Yeah,
she's so good.
Yeah.
yeah,
Very
yeah.
thorough.
I
Oh,
feel
you wouldn't be talking about the ritual theory, would you, Stephanie?
Oh gosh.
Because that is some wild shit.
I don't even know what that is. I haven't heard that
Yeah,
yet. We don't eat
I know.
egg.
She really is, Gia. She is really good. She's so
Yeah.
smart. She's really good with the
Yeah,
documents. Very intelligent.
yeah, she really is, and I
Hmm.
love that she can explain it in a way where like a 6-year-old can understand it. You know what I mean? But not
Hmm.
make you feel stupid. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm out if we start talking about them. Yeah,
Okay, so it
that's
looks like there
wild.
was just maybe one today.
I don't know. When I opened up the page, it looked like it said like 6 or 7 were new.
Yeah, there's some from the 24th or the 20. Oh, wait a minute. No, you're right.
Yeah,
It's just one of them's dated today. The rest of them are dated the 26th.
right. Okay.
Okay, so
I was
this one,
I was so pissed too because like all day at work, I just kept refreshing, 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 refreshing. And then all of a sudden somebody comes and says, "New docs dropped." And I'm like, "Son of a bitch." Like I wanted to be the one to find them.
yeah.
Yeah, she does, Stephanie. She does.
All
Well,
right,
she'll
so
be here
this
soon, so
this
sorry,
one
Peach.
is hereby ordered defendants exhibit 1A in support of their objection to the state's motion regarding the text messages and testimony, and Mr. Roloff's affidavit shall be filed under seal pursuant. Yeah, baby. Here.
Oh,
Sorry.
I just like my own live. I didn't mean to do that. I'm used
Um,
to constantly liking lives. I'm not usually on my own.
Council is ordered to provide a redacted version to be publicly filed, redacted personal information and identifiers, including all phone numbers and all names that victims, including BFDM. Initials only shall be used. That's the exhibit in support of affidavit and objection. Then there's a notice of file, the defendant's notice of filing objection to states regarding the text message and testimony. Yeah, hold on. Here you go.
Goose. I was going to say something. I can't remember what it was. I'm so out of it today.
Notice of filing declaration in support of defendant's objection to the state's motion in the text message and testimony comes now. Brian Koberger by and through his attorney of record hereby files the accompanying declaration of Josiah Roloff in support of their objection to the state's motion. Okay, so that what I read the first thing I think is sealing that. Mm,
Okay.
I'm going out of order, y'all. I'm sorry.
That's
I should probably
okay.
move to the from the bottom to the top. Might be better. All right, so this one is motion to seal defendant's exhibit in support of affidavit of objection. Same thing. Comes now Brian Koberger by and through his attorney of record and hereby moves the court for an order to seal defendant's exhibit 1A in support of their objection to the state's motion, text message, testimony, and Mr. Roloff's affidavit. This one's 7 pages.
Um, I have a question.
Mm-hmm,
I have a question. Uh,
mm-hmm.
do you feel like the whole DoorDash thing is significant to all of this? Or do you think it's just like a
I hope
coincidence?
so.
Yeah, yeah,
I
okay.
hope so. I've
Yeah.
always kind of been a little bit like, what's going on with the DoorDash? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
what did they see? Did they cross paths? Is there like, I've always really wondered about that, but I don't know. Maybe not. I mean, I guess we'll
Right.
see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it is
I really
too.
do hope so. I mean, can you imagine if they crossed and like just I mean, just the likelihood that they would even notice
Yeah.
is my thing.
Hey,
I don't know.
Lindsay.
Hi, is she here?
There
Yay.
she is. There she is.
I think it's important too, and because they're keeping it so like hush hush a little bit, like,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and I feel like there has to be something that that person saw or heard,
Mm-hmm.
or something
Right.
that they have that has to be something important. Even if, like,
Mm-hmm.
what if they had a video on their car?
Yeah,
I
that's
know.
possible.
It's possible.
That is very possible.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah,
Yes.
can hear you good.
I might
Hi,
have
love.
to
Yeah.
I might have to go out and come back in because my screen
No, I'm
is
sorry. Once you're
frozen.
here, you have to stay. You can't. That's the rules. I'm
Good. I can
sorry.
hear you
I
good.
swear on all that is holy. All right, let me see
That's
if I
fine.
can. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah, right, Goose? Right? Goose said, I so badly want the DoorDash order to be from BK. Oh, he
That
Oh
would
left.
be
man,
wild. That would
it
be
would
wild.
be. It wouldn't it?
That would be
It would
very
be.
well.
It
There we
really would be.
go.
Oh, there you are. What's up?
Yay.
Yeah, when I came up the first time, it was a blurry background. I couldn't see like any of you guys or nothing, and I wasn't about to
Oh,
try to
Oh yeah,
handle
that's
that all
weird.
night.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Oh, so what's going on?
Nothing. Just got the
Well,
kiddos to bed. We got a storm rolling in, so we'll see how long that lasts.
oh, like a bad storm or?
I would say yes, but not. It's going to be short lived. It's a smaller storm, but
Gotcha.
it's pretty red.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
man.
Oh, yuck.
That stinks. Well, um, everybody was complimenting you before how they love how you go over the docs and everything. So just
Y'all
thought
give
I'd
me
throw that out there.
way too much credit. I appreciate it.
No,
I really
you're.
do.
Look, I'm dumb as a doorknob, girl.
I appreciate it. I appreciate how thorough you are because most of the time, by the time I'm done working and doing the things, I
Yeah,
skim.
Heinzie. Yeah, Heinzie's doing the Lord's work as far as I'm concerned. Because
She
like
is.
she's sitting down reading it all. Like I don't have time to read that all, and if I did, I wouldn't understand half of it. And
Mm-hmm.
the way you explain everything, like it's yeah, literally the best, Gia. Of course.
Thank you. I really do appreciate that because we're always our worst critic, right? So like I think that I'm being annoying or like, you know what I mean, overbearing and stuff like that. So I really do appreciate that. And I'm glad that I'm able to like express it in a way that others can understand because also too sometimes I feel like I'm not you know what I mean? Like I'm not
Mm,
getting across in the way I'm trying to mean it. So thank you. I
no, yeah, no, we
I didn't
love
know
it.
I was
Hey,
gonna be
Tina.
gassed up tonight. I'm blushing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh boy. So I guess my first question, because a lot of docs dropped what, yesterday or the day before?
I
Mm,
think both, in all
Wednesday,
honesty.
Oh,
Thursday. Yeah. I
okay.
think the
Yeah,
last 3 days we've had several.
And
yeah.
I've been like super, super busy at work, so I'm only getting bits and pieces. So I guess what I want to know is what are like the big like the big things that we found out in the last few days, I guess.
I mean, it depends on who you're asking. No.
Oh,
What?
Lord.
It depends on who you're asking.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Very true.
I think the
Honestly, it really,
authentication records was a pretty big deal. That was a big one.
I
That
agree. I agree.
that was like what he bought here and what he purchased there. That
Yeah, and most recently, like we've seen them go back and forth quite a bit, obviously, on this, but this most recent doc that we got dropped, they put quite a few receipts in there, and by receipts I
Mm-hmm.
mean documents and stuff like that. So it's like we
Mm-hmm.
really did quite a bit, even though a lot of the information we already knew.
oh
Amy
wow.
said we're
Yeah.
asking you.
Well, just for your, spreadsheets aren't receipts.
Oh
Oh
my
my
God.
gosh. Like literally only information that we're not getting off of that quote unquote spreadsheet that's heavily redacted is exactly what she ordered off the menu. Like how much more in depth do you want it? Like
Oh
oh
my
Jesus
God.
Christ.
I
Oh,
kind of look
yeah.
at it like this, like, if I look at it in this way, I try to be, I don't know. Okay, so I feel like a lot of us lean towards the state,
I
and
do,
then,
yeah.
and then there's those that really do lean towards Koberger and Anne, and it doesn't mean I just, maybe it just means that she's doing her job, right? Which
Right,
is
right.
kind of scary in the public because jury selection hasn't happened yet.
Correct.
Right. And I may be annoyed with a lot of the stuff that she's doing, right? But there is one thing I will
Hmm.
never accuse her of, and that is being ineffective counsel. Ever. She is
Right.
Right,
doing a fantastic job. I'm just annoyed.
Yeah.
right.
Just annoyed.
Yeah. But I would like for people to, like, and I'm okay with that. Okay, fine. Give me your arguments. If you're, just like we kind of lean towards the state, people are going to lean towards, you know, Anne and Brian Koberger or whatever. But, let's stay in that realm when we're still talking about like the court documents and things like that, and not get
Right.
out there when things are not even, when we're, and that's why I don't go into lives very much anymore, because I just can't. It's too far
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
I agree.
It's just, and I know me, and I'll get irritated, and so I just don't put myself in that position.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I guess so. One of them, obviously, the self authentication of records was a
Hmm.
huge one going back and forth. I
Hmm.
also believe um, the alternative perpetrator evidence.
Okay.
This is saying quite a bit that I don't think some people are grasping. And it's not that people don't understand. It's just, a lot of us are scanning through, myself included. We're just scanning through and we're seeing certain words and we're like, oh shit, bomb drop and stuff like this.
Right.
But what we're getting from the state is that, um, I mean, just in 2025, we have like 3 separate documents here stating that the defense has not given us enough evidence to be able to do this in trial. They can't get up there and give an alternative perpetrator because they're not meeting the standard to admit this in court. So it's like they're essentially saying buck up and prove it, and they're asking the judge to give a deadline for them to do so, or to just to deny it outright, that they can't keep
Hmm.
saying this anymore because it's just
Hmm.
we're flapping in the wind here. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right. Yeah.
God, what is going on?
What else was huge? The bushy eyebrows. We got our sketch from Dylan, which was, I mean, obviously it's no Picasso, or you know what I mean. It's nothing like that, but it does put a lot of stuff in perspective here. We got
Okay.
exactly what we've been seeing her describe in some of these latest documents in writing, and that's huge for, she's traumatized. So to see her draw something like this, and then we find out where it's from,
Right.
and then all of a sudden, we're looking. I don't know if any of you guys did, but I was looking through Dick's, seeing what they have for balaclavas, or however
Wait,
the heck you say
you
that.
totally, you
You know what I
totally,
Yeah.
mean?
you totally just threw me off.
What?
You're like,
The Balaka, yeah.
I was looking through dicks. I'm like, wait, we're talking about Idaho here. What are you talking
Oh yeah, I was.
Did y'all see the
I don't want
Facebook
to get you
post about
banned.
that?
What was that?
Oh, on the
Uh-huh.
Gonzalez page. Yes, I saw that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
They I don't know if I saw that recently. Did they, or I say did he, like it's Steve. Did they talk about that
He
purchase?
he made yeah,
He made it funny.
he
Oh,
made
he
it
made it
funny.
funny. I'm
Yeah,
looking it up right now.
yeah. He made it funny.
Yeah, he made it funny. I was like, "Oop."
Yeah.
Oh
I'm
man, that is
guessing I'm
very
guessing
funny.
you're looking at it, right?
Yeah. Oh
Do you
yeah.
want to
As soon as you said it, I pulled up Facebook.
do you want to read it?
I can't. I don't. Okay, I don't want to get you bananaed for saying the word, but I will absolutely read it. It says the
Okay.
defendant gets screwed by Dick's dot 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 Dick's Sporting Goods. That is. Looks like he bought a balaclava mask, and a new court document dropped today. He is done in all caps. Dead man walking. That's that's funny. That's funny right there.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah, that was pretty funny. I saw that. I was like, "Oh my God." I had to read it like 4 times just to make sure I read it right.
I honestly. Oh, that's great. That's fantastic.
Oh gosh, I wanted to ask something. I can't remember what it was.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So, do you think the time frame between the purchases leading up to this is a big factor? Like the distance between then and now?
Like, do you think it makes a difference that he purchased it 8 months ago or 2 weeks before? Like, is that what
Yeah.
something like that?
Yeah.
So I think, okay, personally, I think the balaclava may have started as just that. You know, we know from many different documents and statements and all of these things that he liked to run, and he did so at
Mm-hmm.
night. So to have something like
Yeah.
that at night, it makes a lot of sense, right?
Right.
So I don't
Well, yeah,
know.
and a lot of people have said it's not abnormal to purchase something like that, and I do agree with
Right.
that. I
I
Right.
do.
And his
think,
location too is
Mm-hmm.
right.
they,
Right.
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
after, seeing some of the other things along with it is what makes it so
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
weird, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that being the first purchase that he had this in mind, but I think later on, I think he
It was
had,
convenient.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly the word I'm looking for is convenient. I think later on, once he started getting maybe some more of these obsessive thoughts in his head that he wanted to do this, I think it was oddly convenient. He's like, oh, I already have this. I don't have to look for anything else. Whereas I don't think it was, I'm going to purchase this and then wait this long of time to get a weapon. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I
Yeah, because I
think,
mean it was 2 or 3 months between the
yeah,
purchases, and the mask was purchased in January. That's a
Yeah.
cold time. Um,
Um. Oh,
Tina
sorry.
Tina had a question.
Yeah.
Do you want to know, was she the only one that needs to know if the DNA on the railing was compared to the DNA in the glove?
so here's
Mm.
my thing with the DNA on the railing and the DNA on the gloves. So in prior documents, I hold on. I don't have that specific document out, but it was from 2023, I believe, when I was going through and trying to find stuff. It was mentioned in one of the defense responses that the glove was found on November 20th. Okay. And we know it was outside. So that
Mm-hmm.
right there being a week outside in the winter time, wind, rain, snow, all of these other elements, I think it's going to be too degraded to be able to get a sample
I think so too. Do we know what
compare.
kind of glove it was? And was that the one that Chris McDonough found when he went to visit the area
I
when he
believe so.
was that the
Yeah,
same one?
I believe so.
Because that could have been law enforcement. So, do we know what kind of glove that was? Maybe it's just something that was discarded because it wasn't it around the trash can?
Yes, I believe they said it. Let me try to find this, but I believe it was like a black latex glove. If I'm not, I could be
That's
very
what I
well
thought.
mistaken, but I
Yeah,
believe that's what it was.
I think so too. And I
So,
think Peachy is right when she says it was near like a trash can.
Hmm.
and then when it comes to the railing, in the pictures that I've seen, if it was the same railing from the pictures that I've seen, that looks like a I don't I guess unfinished is for lack of a better term, but not like it doesn't look like a sealed railing. Does that make sense? Like it doesn't have a sealant around it. It just looks like an actual wood railing that doesn't have any
Hmm.
finish on it.
Right.
Hmm.
So you got to figure just based off of looks, I don't know for sure if I'm correct that wood is an extremely porous material. So when something gets on it that is wet, it's going to soak into it. And when it comes to DNA and it with it being wood, they're going to have to extract that sample, and how they would do that is to, further break it down essentially because they have to get it off of the wood.
Right.
So to me, these samples, and we heard
Oh.
Thompson say in a hearing that they weren't substantial enough to be ran through CODIS. So what that says to me is it's not substantial enough to do any sort of testing past getting that male or female. And
Okay.
yes, I could be very
All
well
right.
wrong,
Not
but
enough. There wasn't enough specimen. There wasn't enough
yeah.
DNA to even try. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Okay.
to go between the two, I don't think they were ever compared because I don't know that they were even able to get a big enough sample off of the wood for one, and for two, the one that's outside is going to be so degraded. Yeah, it's not years by any means, but a week outside in those conditions, people are walking, I'm sure, in that path when it's by the dumpsters. Like,
Right.
I don't think there was enough, and I would rather them not waste their time on something that they know isn't going to
Hmm.
be a substantial DNA, you know what I mean, rather than just ignoring it, I guess.
Well, while we're talking about DNA, I have a question. I'm curious to see what y'all think and what everybody else thinks. Okay, so we know what was said about the nail scrapings, right? And I feel like, am I the only one that feels like that's still redacted and still information, and that only one of them was named for a reason, and that we might find other DNA scrapings that might match him later? What do y'all think about that?
Wait, repeat that one more time. I'm sorry, I was typing a comment.
So when we heard about the nail scrapings, the DNA, and that there wasn't any, and I think it was Maddie, right?
Okay, yep.
They only specifically said her. They didn't talk about anyone else. It was only her.
Right.
I think that's in my opinion leaves the door open for the potential, the possibility that there are going to be other, obviously they're gonna do more nail scrapings. But why was she the only one intentionally named and the others were left out? And I feel like it's possible that his DNA was found and might match. Don't know, just a theory, just wondering what everybody else thinks about that. Do you think it's a possibility? Do you think no? I just think it's interesting they specifically named her and left everyone else out of that equation, that there wasn't any DNA under her scrapings. What
Right.
about everybody else?
And I think that's almost why we're finding out about it, right? Because they're
Mm-hmm.
not they're not dropping these huge balls on us because they want him to
No.
have a fair trial. But
Mm-hmm.
I have absolutely from the beginning, before we even found out about Maddie's fingernails,
Mm-hmm.
thought that someone, because this entire time we've been hearing about the possibility of defensive wounds, and yes, defensive can
Mm-hmm.
be active or passive, but
Mm-hmm.
if it is active and somebody is trying to fight back, they're absolutely, possibility of something. I
Which,
do
yeah, I
think
do too.
that's
And I
something.
think if there is any, we might, maybe it's going to be Kaylee.
Yeah, it very well. I would say Kaylee or Xana. I don't know about
Mm-hmm.
Ethan.
I
I
don't know
just
about Ethan either. I
I
don't
have a
either. I
feeling, and
agree.
this is not trying to dog on Ethan in any way, shape, or form. I feel like he was heavily intoxicated, and I feel like he was kind of passed out when he was attacked, is how I've always felt about the situation. So I think if we do, it's going to be one of the two other girls for sure.
Yeah, I think he was caught by surprise, didn't, reacted only enough to then pass away.
Right. And why, if it's normally when we see something that's inconclusive too, we see people, well, I shouldn't say people, we see the defense okay with bringing that in or not fighting as hard to keep it out. So it's like, why are you fighting so hard to get this particular thing out? Like, is there even more? So like this exclude, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's wild.
Hey, Tina.
Hi, Tina.
What's up?
Y'all. I
Hey.
mean, I hate to say it, I hated to see it come out that, Maddie was so intoxicated that she couldn't fight back or whatever. So, but nail scrapings or whatever, wouldn't they come out with that or say something about that? And if it is nail scrapings from the other girls or whatever, if he was covered like he is, how do they have where did they get to him to get those nail scrapings if he was covered like they're talking about?
Well, it comes down to a thing of, if it's sitting in his house, if he's worn it before, if he didn't wash it from purchasing it and like stuff like this.
Okay, I guess I'm thinking about skin. I'm sorry. I guess I'm
Oh,
thinking
well,
about
yeah,
skin.
no, I know what you're saying. I mean, I think that, I think there's a possibility, that it's not like he was in a bodysuit. So there would, maybe there would be some way that he could
Fibers.
have been,
Yeah.
um, like the neck. Okay, so we have like a mask, right? Then there's got to be a separation from the mask to whatever he's got on his chest, his clothes. Maybe there's a little bit of area, the neck, and then you think about gloves in your wrist where that little piece of skin there. I think it's possible, but I do think it's interesting. They only talked about how there wasn't any under her nail scrapings, any
Right.
of his DNA, and they left everyone else out of that equation. Why? If there's none on any of them, why not name them all?
Right.
And that's the
Was
thing
that
too, is if there was, I'm sorry, 867, if there was none, she would absolutely point that out because she loves to point out the fact that there's a lack of DNA in his car and other areas.
Yeah,
so like
that's
she
true.
would definitely be pointing this out. Go ahead, 867. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. Was that did we find that out because she was trying to exclude it, or was that in something else? Because I don't remember.
I believe it was exclusion. I got it right here. Let me pull it up and read it and make sure.
Yeah, I think she wanted to exclude it because it was not his. It was hers and
Well, it was like hers and like 3 other people, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
3 other people, but not his. And she wanted it excluded. Which is crazy to me because if you're gonna go with a defense where somebody else framed him, why would you want that thrown out? I don't know.
Why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
Why would
Yeah.
you want that thrown out?
That's exactly my thought on it too. Like normally you see people wanting this in because inconclusive means you can't exclude him, but you also can't include him. So that's reasonable doubt right there. So the fact that they're fighting so hard to get this out makes it look more guilty.
I agree.
Okay, so I'm gonna read this here. It says this expert was disclosed for the first time in rebuttal disclosures. His area of expertise and proposed testimony that MM was severely impaired by her intoxication and could not fight back is not one that was challenged by expert in Mr. Kohlberger's disclosures. The timing of this disclosure does not leave Mr. Kohlberger the opportunity to consider the necessity of meeting this expert analysis. This testimony serves no legitimate purpose other than to inflame the passions of the jury. Mr. Kohlberger has not in any way contested toxicology on MM. This is an improper rebuttal and must be excluded. So yeah, she's trying to get it excluded altogether because they're not saying she wasn't messed up. They just don't want the DNA in there. Is how I'm interpreting that.
Wild.
Let's see if there's more in here.
Also, I think too that we don't really have many friends that have come forward to speak that we know of his since this happened, right?
Right.
Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Any buddies that he did anything with on a regular basis or anything like that. So, you know, who would he really disclose information to that he purchased a K bar in March of 2022 that would know to use something like that to frame him? Like it doesn't, like I don't know. Am I making sense? Like,
Yeah, no, you're
what kind of
making sense.
relationships did he have that he would? Did he hunt? I don't know that he did. Did he do all these things? Who did he do it with? Like, I'm curious about all that.
Right.
Since that's going to be, well, they're going to try to use that as their defense, but they haven't been able to put that together yet, and the state's demanding it. Like you were saying earlier, I mean, like there's a time crunch now. Like y'all need to let's do this or not. Like make a decision, and they're going to need to name someone, right?
Right.
Oh, Spud said he hunted
Hey,
and fished with his father.
Yeah, but I don't know
in
anybody
Pennsylvania,
who
but
used a
in
K bar for fishing, of course, and I
Right,
really
right,
don't know anybody that used a K bar for
hmm
hunting. It's very well possible,
right.
but it depends on what if he's hunting bear, okay, I could absolutely see that. But if he's
Yeah,
hunting deer, I don't see that as probability. You don't want a knife or excuse me, a weapon that is
no,
that
right.
long.
right.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that he would have graduated from DeSales in June of 2022 and then gone right to WSU in August and started his PhD in August of 2022 and made and thought to take that along with him because he was going to make friends in 2 months and have buddies to go hunting with him and
Excuse
during
me.
hunting. I mean, I don't know. I think about stuff like that,
Right,
y'all.
right. Good point.
I don't know. I just do.
Well, there's
Yeah,
probably also going to be like, when
Right,
they
Em.
when they ask him, or when, I don't even know if they're going to ask him, but whenever he's going to have to come up a reason why he doesn't have these things anymore, right?
Right.
Like, so then, like, I wonder what those stories are going to be like. If he says, well, I had a party at my house, and after the party, my things were missing, or did somebody break into his house? They would have to have, like, you would think if somebody broke into his place that it would be reported, or neighbors would know that somebody came in and broke into an apartment in their building. Like, nobody is saying, no neighbors are coming forward with that kind of stuff. But
Right.
also, like, we don't know the story of where these are yet, and it's going to have to come out when they use it, to defend him or to answer why he doesn't have these things anymore. But, like,
Yeah, and I
there
think that's the
also has
golden
to
question,
be,
right?
yeah, and there has to be, like, I mean, if his place was robbed, I'm sure he called the police. If he lost it, that's a different reason, but he would have a story for that. Like, there's none of
Yeah,
that
right.
mentioned.
And it would be
Yeah.
insane to me to have a weapon like that stolen and you're not reporting that. Like,
right. For
because
that
it's
reason.
especially with him, with his background, like he would know that kind of stuff would be a possibility. So if someone steals it, like anybody in the chat, anybody, anything, like you ever get something like that stolen, report it right away. You're probably never going to see it again. But don't take the chance that somebody's going to use that to do something and then you're
Yeah, I mean,
SOL.
right. Yeah, well, and we can't discount the fact either that he has an education in psychology, criminal justice, and then he was getting his PhD in criminology. If anyone would question that and make a police report if things were stolen, you would think it would be Brian Koberger, right?
Right.
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 Yeah, especially after the paper he wrote. Yeah.
And see,
Mm-hmm.
Therese, if I'm saying your name wrong, I totally apologize. They said if he filed a police report, it would have drawn attention to him after the unalivings, absolutely. But what I'm saying is, if his excuse is that it was stolen prior to and he didn't report it, that's not going to fly with me. You know what I mean? Like, if something like
Right.
that
Well,
is
his
getting,
excuse is that he's not guilty. His excuse is
yeah,
that he's not guilty and he didn't do these crimes and he was framed.
right,
So if he's not guilty and he was framed, there should have been no issue for him to file a police report when they were stolen at the time they were taken and he realized it. You know what I mean? If
yeah,
you're innocent, you would automatically do those things. It wouldn't be a question later. Does that
right,
make
right.
sense?
Right.
That's
Yeah.
that's how I think. That's the way my brain works. That's how I think of things.
It would also be odd if that was the only thing taken. Absolutely, because if somebody's only going to take that, it's like, less than $100 on Amazon. Why would you not go for the computer and the TV and all of these things that can make you more money if you're going to pawn something, right? Like, you can get that
Mm-hmm.
anywhere, obviously, as well as the electronics, but you're going to make more off of the electronics than you would a stolen weapon. You're going to probably get, 10 to 20 bucks in a pawn shop, to be realistic, because they need to, if they want to make any money, they're going to have to give you the
Mm-hmm.
lowest amount, obviously. So to make something, they're going to have to list it at like 50 because it's used.
Right. Hey, Amy.
Yeah, Josh, that's a good point. So Kelly said there is mention of a police report in the docs, but it's not super clear what it's for. And then, yeah, that I was going to say, I think that was for the traffic stop, but Hansi, you might have picked up on something else, but I don't think there was, I'm not really sure. I don't think there's anything
Um,
else.
what was the
Uh,
question? I missed it.
she said there was mention of a police report in the docs, but it wasn't super clear what it was for.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that
I
was,
know about the traffic stops and the
No,
seatbelt
she said
ticket and things like
the
that, but was there something else?
it was a
there's a
traffic
police.
stop from August. Sorry, 867. Go ahead.
No, no.
Yeah, it was a traffic stop that happened. I believe it was August 18th. Don't quote me on that. I might be off. But it was just essentially a traffic stop. I believe it was in close proximity to the house as well. And they want that in solely because it shows ownership of the car, right? You give your license and registration. It shows he is who he is. It's showing, he gives his telephone number. Like, he's admitting who he is, and he's admitting that that is his vehicle, and that's why they want that in there. It has, and the defense wants that out because they're basically saying that, well, it's going to make the jury think that he has prior quote unquote bad behavior, so it puts a bad light on him, when that's not the case at all. Everybody gets a traffic stop at some point in their life, right? Like, maybe some people don't, I don't know, but like, we all get pulled over for speeding or seatbelt tickets or warnings with the police for some of these things. Like, everybody gets it. It's not nefarious in any way, shape, or form. So their reasoning is kind of wild, but he's admitting that that is his vehicle. He owns it, where he lives, and his phone number. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's why they want it.
Mm-hmm.
Liz, Liz asked Tina, "Why are you so quiet?" She says, "I'm trying to find that game."
Tina, are
Uh,
you searching nefarious things?
I don't
Call
know
her in.
what I'm doing, y'all. My head's freaking spinning. I mean, Liz and I argue about this every day, and it's like today, it's like, oh, you're getting so aggressive. You're getting aggressive, and we're just talking about a document. Y'all know how I've always felt about this. I mean, I always said if there wasn't any
Mm-hmm.
DNA in that car, you couldn't convince me. I don't know. I'm just,
You have always said that. You
I
have
yes,
have
always said that.
from day
always.
You
one.
have.
I've, I don't know, but the more that keeps coming out, I mean, damn, we're going to be busy from now till Trial starts in August, probably till November. I don't know.
Well, they
It's gonna
keep
be a
dropping
long
dots
summer.
like this.
Yep.
I
Well, I
know.
mean, I kind of feel like I might be onto something. Like I really do kind of feel like I might be onto something. And y'all can think I'm crazy, but y'all can't tell me shit right now. Just let me
You
believe it,
sound like
okay?
me.
Let me
I'm
believe
with
I'm
you.
right.
I ain't trying to convince you otherwise at all. I'm with you.
Peachy,
Yeah,
that
I'm
just
with you
sounded like
too
me.
with
Y'all may think
that.
I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy. Oh my
Tina, what do you
gosh.
think with all these new docs? Has your opinion changed at all, or
No, because no, absolutely not. I'm just that girl that needs. No, I need the picture of him in a car. I need the license plate. I need something. And I know that everybody keeps talking about his car being filmed outside a store. We don't know that that's his car. I mean, I need to see him or a license plate or something. No.
so?
Mm-mm.
So, do you
That is
think at
why I need
all?
people to start thinking about and talking about the reasons he might get away with it.
Oh,
Okay.
I think we've.
People need to, I really think people y'all, he had a lot of education. He was not a dumb man. Okay. He's
No,
not
No,
stupid.
no.
nope.
No, but do you think at all that there's a possibility with the pictures that were released, right? Of the car,
Oh gosh.
whatever
Yeah.
the model, that you could kind of see an outline of somebody. And if you can see that, do you think that there's stuff that they haven't released where you can see him in the car and he may be able to be identified from that? Like
Well,
driving
with
the
the,
vehicle?
well, with an outline or whatever in your face in the DP, I couldn't be on the jury for that because no, I could not convict somebody by an outline. I mean,
You're not
I mean,
convicting him by an outline. You're convicting him in the totality of the evidence put against him. You're not convicting him because of one outline of a person in a car. You know
okay,
what I
but
mean?
what evidence? I mean, DNA on a sheath. I mean, what evidence?
Well, to me, the DNA on the sheath, the
Hmm.
phone pings in the area, the car, they obviously have his car, or what is assumed to be his car,
I mean,
driving around, possibly with him inside of it. Um, I don't know.
possibly.
Those
I
are
mean,
the major things that stand out to me personally.
yeah, and I mean, nothing, I mean, what you just said, but possibly and all of that, I could not find, I mean, I could not do it facing a death penalty. I
Well,
mean,
okay, and this is not directed towards you, Tina, but anybody.
yes, I
Am
know.
I wrong for thinking, and I don't know how Idaho specifically works. Am I wrong for thinking that he has to get convicted or found guilty of this, and then the next step is that a jury votes on whether he gets life or the DP? So it's not like you're just because you find him guilty, he's automatically getting the DP. Like the sentencing part is separate, and that's a whole another thing. So like just because you're finding him guilty doesn't mean you're putting him to death. You know what I mean? So
Well, I
like I
mean,
feel like it's not
That's how
enough.
I understand it.
So like when people say like I'm not gonna find him, like I'm not gonna put him to death on the evidence that we have. No, I don't either. But do I think he's guilty and could be found guilty? Absolutely. Will he get the DP because of it? No, I'm not sure that he will.
well, I mean, I'm just like
Hmm.
this, life without
Right.
parole, the DP, 30 years, 20 years, whatever. I mean, I cannot put that on somebody if I don't have, I mean, if I'm not 100% sure in my mind. And Peachy will be the first one up in here in Hindsight that we've all, followed each other from the very beginning, that I've always been that way. I've just never, I mean, there's just never been enough for me. And I mean, I know a lot of people don't agree with me or whatever, but that's just me. So, I mean, I don't care what I mean, what the sentence is or whatever. I just couldn't convict him right now. No, I couldn't.
No, that's fair.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think the jury will find him guilty or not guilty. And then when they go to sentencing, that's when they'll decide if they're going to put him to death.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
But where
And
I
so
stand
so
right
So
is
it's
now,
going to be
so yeah, that's a separate thing though. Like he can be found guilty on the charges
it's,
and still only serve
hmm
life in prison. So
yeah.
like that's where I think there's like a little bit of miscommunication in when people are talking about this, is that just because this evidence is presented against him, the jury is going to decide DP or let
Right.
him go.
Right.
That's not how this works. And
Right. And I
someone,
think if I'm not mistaken, and y'all let me know in the comments, and because I don't know for sure, but I think, and I think it's going to be the same jury that convicts
Yeah.
him or, doesn't, will be the same jury that will decide his
Right.
fate later. It will be the same people.
Right. But I mean, I honestly, and y'all can call me crazy, but I think that he's going to be found not guilty or it's going to be a hung jury. I do.
Yeah, that's what I thought,
you
Lily.
see, I think with expert testimony explaining, and I do think it's going to be a battle of the experts, um, which will be very interesting to see, and I think that's personally when I'll decide my feelings on it. Um, but right now I'm leaning towards guilty. Um, but that's just me. But I do think that expert testimony will either hit home the evidence that we do have, and I do think that there's more evidence that is still under seal, and this judge is just like, well, all this stuff doesn't need to be sealed. This is silly that this is sealed. Like, unseal it, let the public have it, and the important, like, hard hitting stuff is still what we don't know. And I think the combination of that with expert testimony explaining it all and putting it into a timeline will really either nail it in or
Yeah, and I was not expecting all of these documents to be dropped. And I mean, we're getting what, like 2 or 3 days a week that they're dropping documents now or whatever. I mean, I may have to come back and say, y'all, I was an idiot. I was totally wrong. I may agree with everybody at some point, but I mean, right now I just don't. I mean, I could not, with the sheath. I mean, I just think she can poke holes in that all day long, and the pings also. And I think Cy Ray's going to play a big part in it. I do. Whatever else they may have, I think it's to be seen. As far as the prosecution, I don't know.
Hmm.
I mean, that's just the way I feel. And I mean, I've never
I think it's
wavered.
possible. I mean, I think I think it's possible it might be hung and, I think it was Kelly, or it might have been Lily in the comment. I can't remember. It only takes one, right? And that's why this is so important
That's why they don't.
to
They
get
don't.
it right the first time because there's only gonna be one time, y'all.
right.
If the
Right.
state believes they have their person, they are not going to do this again. They're not going to spend the money, the resources. They're not going to do this again.
Yeah. Yep. So I mean, if he's guilty, I want him to get. I mean, I'm all for him getting everything that. I mean, even the DP,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. But right now, I can't say. I mean, I can't say that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I've been that way since the very beginning, and I've never
I
changed.
feel the same way you do. I mean, I'm leaning towards the state, and of course, I do feel like they've done their due diligence, and I have more faith, in the system, I think, than some people do. But my mind could change, and once we see the totality, I might be like, I don't know. I don't feel like that's going to happen, but it's. I want them to have the right person, but I also,
Yeah,
if I were going to be putting someone to death,
absolutely.
I would want to know without a shadow of a doubt, like. I would want to be able to sleep at night knowing that I made the right decision.
Yeah.
I would have to.
yeah.
I agree. I mean, I know. I agree with you.
I think that all lies in how the experts present on the stand as well,
Hmm.
how they explain things, how relatable they are, um, and just like their demeanor itself. Because, like, for instance, again, I know y'all are tired of me talking about it, but
Oh
Karen Reed,
God, here we
I
go.
knew, I knew
I'm
that was
just
coming.
teasing.
In Karen Reed, the state's expert, quote unquote expert, I don't know how they got there, but their expert, the recreation guy, Trooper Paul, sat up there and was stuttering and couldn't answer questions clearly and like didn't have the vocabulary to clearly state his process, or if it, I mean, it wasn't even clear what his process was because he was pirouetting and flying through the air according to him. But again, that's how one of the people that, based upon all the other evidence and then like testimony like that, I was like, yeah, no, there's not a chance. They're putting this guy on the stand. There's not a chance she's guilty. They're trying their hardest to find ways to make it look
Is
like
that
she
the
did.
one that was so nervous and almost looked like he was going to cry on the stand because the
Yes.
anxiety was so bad?
Yep.
Yeah, I felt bad for him. That was bad.
No, I
That
felt
was
bad
really
for
bad.
him too. It was, I mean, I felt
It was
really
bad.
embarrassed for him. Like, he was
It was
not
bad.
prepared at all to get on a stand and testify to his,
He literally looked like he was going to cry to
yeah,
me.
it was
I
awful.
was like, poor guy. Golly, y'all get it down. Get him down.
But like,
Anyway.
just let him off the hook. But again, like it's all about how they present, and that's just my one example of, I think it really does matter how these experts come across on the stand, you know?
Hey,
Hey,
Tina.
Liz.
Y'all, this is just what I needed.
Hey,
I'm
guys.
brushing my teeth. Go ahead.
Oh, no. Yeah, Tina and I go back and forth on this
That's what she
every
said.
day. And it's
You
not,
and Tina
and it,
fighting? Come on.
yeah, I know, every day. It's, and Tina, I want you to understand, it's not about being right or wrong, like in this case. And I think sometimes people get too emotional. And honestly, that's kind of why I haven't been talking about Idaho, because I've seen some lives that it's gotten heated. And I don't think it should be about right or wrong or anybody, if he comes guilty, I don't think anybody should be like, "Oh, Tina, you were wrong." I think we all want the same thing, obviously, to have the right person. But Tina is just more of like, she needs to see him walking in the door type thing. She needs the
Hmm.
camera,
Right.
and that, and I can, I do respect her opinion and where that comes from. And so I've tried to talk to her like what I've been hearing Heinze talk about, and it's the totality of all of the evidence. It's not
Hmm.
just one thing. It's the sheath, it's the purchases, it's the I when I was talking to Tina earlier, and I was like, okay, well, he bought the knife, the sheath, and the sharpener. And she was like, well, that's not a big deal to me. And I was like, how's that not a big deal to you? And so she gave me the example that, she was like, well, my husband, she was like, I could see like him buying that because that's a set and he would use it, for like fishing or something like that. And so I can hear and understand like her rationale. Um, but like I said,
Yeah, I can
I
too.
like that
And
everybody's being respectful on this panel, and this is the only reason why I came up, because like I said, it shouldn't be about who's right or wrong. I mean, we
Right.
all
And
have
what I
opinions.
right. And what I was saying about that with Bo, my husband that passed away, if he was gonna order something, he would have been like that. If he was gonna order the KNIFE or whatever, and if it didn't come with the sheath or whatever, he was going to have something to put it in or whatever. And then I could see him ordering the sharpener or whatever. I mean, that was just, I mean, I don't know. I could see that.
yeah,
And
yeah, and
he was a
I
hunter.
can say that too. I can
He
see
was
that
a
too.
hunter.
I think though like she was saying, it's the totality of the situation and the case. So yes, you can see people, that's not an abnormal thing to do for men who hunt to purchase things like that, or even the mask, depending on the weather. But when you have the suspect vehicle and then you have the DNA left on the sheath under Maddie's body, and then you have like all these little things that point to Brian Koberger, and then he just so happens to have bought these. items that are not accounted for, then that's kind of where, you know, I question, like,
I
where
get
is
that.
it? Where your husband might be able to be like, oh, here it is. I'm innocent. Here it is.
I
Um,
totally, I totally
you
get
know.
that. I mean, I get that. It's like, where is it now or whatever. I get
Mm-hmm.
that. But what I was explaining to Liz was I would not find that abnormal for my husband because he's going to have
Mm-hmm.
every, he was just that type person that was going to have
Yeah,
everything that
yeah.
he needed because he was a hunter. So, I mean, if he doesn't have it, is that somebody was saying that they felt like that he reported it stolen? Is that, I mean, we don't know anything. I mean, is that for real or?
No,
No,
so he
no.
searched for the same item, the K-bar, after the murders in a search on Amazon, I think it was, right, Hansi? So he had already purchased it,
Yeah, he
but then after the
purchased it.
murders, he searched for it again. And
Or
I'm
was he
like,
wanting to buy it again, or what was he doing?
well, like, why would you do that? Like,
Why else would you search for it again? Like,
why would you search for it
yeah.
again? That's weird.
Yeah,
Well,
why do
he
you need
searched for
two
the
of the
sheath,
same
I
one?
thought.
What was that, Velma?
I thought he just searched for the sheath.
He might have. I'm not sure. What was it? The
Oh, let
sheath
me let me
Why,
only?
pull this
why,
up.
If it was the sheath, that's crazy.
why the hell are you
I
going to
could be
search
I could
for?
be
Right.
completely wrong. I could be completely wrong.
I mean, guilty what?
Yeah, that would be sold for me. I don't want to argue with nobody
I know, sold.
anymore.
Let's not even go to trial. If that's the case, sold. Done deal. Do you win? I'm just kidding.
M is saying
But
both the knife and the sheath.
that goes back to if my husband had, say, he was in the field and deer hunting or whatever, and he lost his or whatever, that he would go back and that was a good product for him for deer hunting or whatever, and that he would go and look for another one because he couldn't find his. But for you to go and look for, I mean, surely not a sheath. I mean, mm-mm.
But don't you find that a coincidence? I mean, well, it's to me, it's not a coincidence, but don't you find it odd that, that is the weapon and he was searching for that afterwards? I mean,
Are we
that,
real for sure that that's the weapon?
I mean,
I,
why else? I'm fairly confident. I'm just gonna say that I'm
I
fairly
just really
confident.
always thought, I'm sorry, Hansi. I'm
No, you're
sorry, go
good.
ahead. No, I just always, I mean, maybe it was a K bar or whatever, but I always, from the beginning, I always thought that there was something bigger involved as far as a weapon.
well, I think that they were able to determine the medical examiner report, and then the radiology reports came out, I think, like in the summer, that they were able to say that the injuries were that of a K bar. They were consistent with a K bar.
So,
And I saw Sarah's comment, and I don't remember that either. So I asked AI, and AI said no, that's not accurate. It's not an Amazon. There wasn't a police report according for Amazon purchases.
So I got the document pulled up here. So it
Let's
says
confirm and see what it says.
irrelevant click activity on Kohlberger's account would not provide any relevant context to Kohlberger's actual click activity. In parentheses, i.e., purchase of a K-bar knife with sheath before the unalivings, and his click activity indicating the search for a weapon with sheath after the unalivings. So it
Mm,
was both. It was not just the sheath.
okay. Maybe it was though to just get the sheath.
And that could be,
That's
but
crazy.
Well,
but
okay,
also
Well,
if
that
he's
wouldn't make sense. That wouldn't make sense because the knife. I mean, because it's missing too.
right.
That's
Heinzie, now I
crazy.
want to ask you this. I don't
Yes,
know if you
ma'am.
have this doc pulled up or know
I
where it is.
can I can pull it up if not.
So, you know how like we numerous times people have said that there was a listing of a police report.
Yeah.
When was that?
When did that initially drop?
Like, when do they say when a police report possibly was filed?
I believe off memory it was. Do you mean like for him getting pulled over, or?
I think you just said August, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm clarifying. So
Oh,
from
so
my
it wasn't
memory,
a police report that was filed by him. It was a police reporting something.
yes, it was from him getting pulled. Let me see if I can pull that up. It was from
Well,
him
so
getting pulled over.
Kelly says defense objection to the state's mail authentication record, page 3 under Amazon records says police report is what Kelly said.
Hold on. Defendant's objection is page 3.
Yeah, page 3 under Amazon
Hold
records,
on.
police report.
I got it up. I have like 20 different tabs open, so just give me a second.
I
We're
just didn't
looking,
Page 3
Kelly, thank you.
under Amazon.
She said page 3, number 4.
I just really think that I don't think he's stupid. I think he's a pretty smart guy. And I think that would be so stupid for him to go and be looking up K-bar, sheath, or whatever the hell he was doing afterwards. God dang, I would hate for them to look up my, I would hate for them to look up my shit. I would hate for them to look it up because I have Googled and looked, I mean, I really would.
I'm looking at it now, Hansi.
Well, I would think
Me too.
maybe for him to do it afterwards, at that point, he thought he'd already gotten away with it, right? I mean, isn't
Yeah.
that a possibility?
Yeah.
That's what I feel. I feel like he thought he got away with it and
So he
they
thought
weren't
he
going to
was
find
safe.
him.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know. I just need more, y'all. I know everybody disagrees with me, but I just need more. I don't know. And I mean, I'm going to be the first one if it comes down to it and more documents keep being dropped or whatever that I might have to come back and say, "Oh my God, I was an idiot for how many years or whatever."
No, nobody, no, that's what I was saying
I
No,
don't
earlier.
even
It's
care.
not
having a different opinion doesn't make you an idiot.
No, I
right.
mean,
No, not at
No.
all.
no, I don't even care. But I've just always stood by what I said from the very beginning, and I just haven't,
Yeah.
just
You haven't changed your mind at all since the very beginning.
never.
I'll give you that.
Never once. And Liz and I go back and forth. I mean, she
I don't
thinks
see
her
it.
way. I think my way.
It's
And
it's on there. I'm looking for the response right now.
Okay.
I think we all have different life experiences to get us to where we are in our opinions, and how we perceive things, like, and everything. So I don't think it's wrong at all.
and that's what I appreciate because so many. I mean, there's more that think differently than I do, but nobody ever, ever, ever has been ugly to me for my opinion. Never, even
No.
from the beginning, they have not.
No, and
Okay.
I don't think
That's because
anybody
you're
should
crime
attack you.
tiger.
She crime
Oh my
tiger.
God!
The hell?
How about that?
So she's right. It says Amazon financial and user records for Brian Kohlberger.
Mm-hmm.
Hard drive provided 4523, and then it lists all 4 of the hard drives that are
Yeah,
provided.
I see
First
that.
one's spreadsheet, second one's father's account, third one's subscription history, click activity, and sign-in history. And the fourth one, AV832, contains a police report from Michael Douglas. Mr. Kohlberger objects specifically to AV832 as it is a police report, and the prosecution must have a witness to testify about the contents of the police report. IRE 803 in parentheses 8, parentheses A, parentheses II, in parentheses B. He objects to the rest of the requested documents because the records are not a complete record. the court should consider Mr. Kohlberger's motion to exclude all Amazon records and expert testimony in conjunction with the state request. On March 12th, 2025, the state filed an expert opinions related to the Amazon records some 3 months after its expert disclosure deadline. So this doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't to me either. Why is he objecting? I mean, why is he wanting?
Because if it's a police report that would be of a theft, he would want that in there.
Right.
Objecting to Michael Douglas report of the records, maybe I don't know, because it says in here, as it is a police report, and the prosecution must have a witness to testify about the contents of the report.
So
He
what,
objects to the
they want
rest
Michael
of the
Douglas
requested
on
documents because of the records are not a complete record. So is it something that's just filed and was never completed, or?
Could it have been like a written warning, maybe?
Well, it was
I
the
don't know.
police report. Like, what kind of report?
Well, I mean, a written warning is still like the officer, I would assume, would still have like record of it.
But it was under the Amazon financial and user records.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't at all. I mean, it would be something that he would make a report on, I would think. So if that's true, then why would it doesn't make sense that he wouldn't want that shown?
But here's
then
the
who
thing.
wants
Right,
to-
Kelly. How does that pertain to right? How does that? I mean, it's
It
weird.
could pertain if it's the same weapon, right? So if it's pertaining to the same weapon, that, you know what I mean? Like, it would be then quote unquote linked in that way. But I'm gonna look some stuff up.
They could have the knife, but it's not a complete report or record of how they obtained it, maybe? No? Is that silly?
So it's
I don't
saying
know.
it's
I'm
not
confused.
it's not a
I'm
complete.
confused too. I'm like, who do they want to testify? Like this Michael guy, or like what? I'm confused. Like they want somebody on the witness to testify as to like the rest of the report that they feel is not complete. Like I don't, or they need somebody from Amazon. Like what are they asking?
Well, they're saying it's not a
Well, it sounds
complete
like they don't want
report.
it used because it's not a complete report. And so he wants it all kicked out?
Well, I wonder if it's not a complete report because it's not resolved. If somebody steals something from you and you don't get it back,
It stays open, yeah.
Well,
Especially a weapon.
it's obviously incomplete, but what if it's not even about his purchase, the purchase? What if it's about something else? I don't know, y'all. I mean, this is weird. Don't think it's weird?
No, that is
Definitely
weird.
weird. Oh,
does
M
it have
said
a date on that report?
No.
M
Oh,
asked,
I don't
did
know,
he have the
man.
cable or visible during the traffic stop? That's a good question.
Maybe.
But
Um,
here's the thing, though. The police officer that pulled him over was not Michael Douglas.
Morgan,
Hey,
it's the self-authentication of records one. It's the one that's like 70 pages. That's the one, which I don't know which one that it's the response that Hansi read off of, but the hard drive number is the AV0000832. I can put it in the chat
hey,
if that helps.
Heinze.
Yeah, hold on one second before you ask that question. So the Latah County that pulled him over, it was August 21st. I apologize. I think I said August 18th. So the one from August 21st was Darren Duke. So those two would not be related.
Before I forget, I need to get this out of my brain. Hey, Heinze.
Yes, ma'am.
Remember the conversation that we had the other night? Very
Yes.
late.
Yes.
Could it be that someone reported something and to this Michael guy, like called it in, but it quote unquote is not a complete report because they didn't have everything at the time and then just never attached the rest of the information to it or something?
Or it was
Are you
like
thinking it's
unfounded or something, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's
Well,
so to me, because
unfounded because they know that he bought it, but did they like not attach it in the right place or something? So they're saying it's not complete.
I don't know.
You're not,
But
but you're understanding what I'm asking, right?
Yeah, what this sounds like is Michael Douglas is not an officer, because if it's an officer, they would put deputy officer, law enforcement, something to indicate that he is something of law enforcement. They have him listed as a regular person. So it sounds like this Michael Douglas, whoever he is, made a report against Brian. And it sounds like it had something to do with the knife. So maybe he threatened him. Maybe, you know what I mean?
Douglas is FBI.
That's so weird that they don't
Ooh.
list him as that.
Hey, Nikki.
Is it like that with two S's? M?
We got to figure that out.
He's the FBI forensic accountant.
Forensic accountant.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
See, that's confusing. Because why would a forensic accountant have something to do with the police report for Amazon? Are y'all just as confused? Because I'm baffled.
Unless it's like
M said he received the initial Amazon search warrant.
yeah.
So maybe it's just the documentation that he was served. Is that what you're meaning?
Yeah, something weird going on.
Something weird's going on. I completely skipped over that, and that's why I like going over this stuff, because I can read and read and read, but like I'm not perfect. You know what I mean? I don't remember reading that one bit. He was pulled over by Duke. Yeah.
Meanwhile, I've been sitting here reading M's comments out loud so that you would hear it, and I was muted the whole entire time.
Oh no. Well, yeah, because I'm looking at my screen, so I'm probably missing a ton of comments. So if anybody's asking me stuff, I'm sorry, I'm not reading it. Did Kohlberger steal a credit card to pay? Maybe someone didn't charge back.
Just call him.
That could be.
Or maybe because didn't they say Amazon was a family account? So maybe he like purchased it, but used dad's sister's mom's card because they're all linked to the same account, and so they can't forensic accountingly tie it back to him. That was not a complete
I actually understood what you said.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad somebody did. They can't like tie the purchase back to him because he could have possibly clicked on somebody else's card. So it looks like mom bought it when it was really him. And because mom bought it and sent it to their home address where he was also living, you know what I mean? So they can't financially.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. Nikki said it's probably a police report from when his sister or dad reported a cell phone when he was a teenager. Maybe.
Well, why would that be under Amazon though? That's where we're getting all messed up here, Nikki. It's listed under the Amazon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we're hung up on, is why is it listed under the Amazon?
But that was also 2014, and he went to like a mall kiosk to turn that in, from my understanding. So like I don't know how Amazon, what we said. I don't know how Amazon would. Yes, Nikki, I'm all sorts of messed up right now, okay?
Yeah, that's what we said. We were like,
we need you. We need you, Nikki. We need you back.
They were just gassing me up earlier, and then I get this thrown in my face like I don't read nothing.
Well, Morgan Marie said, so him purchasing a knife is a form of financial
All right, Morgan, let me
misconduct
go back through your comments, hon.
to a
Hang on.
crime.
Investigated financial misconduct. Okay. It literally says a forensic.
Yeah, we gotta go. We need to read Morgan's comments. Hang on.
So him
I'm trying to,
purchasing
Morgan. I'm trying. I'm sorry.
him purchasing a knife is a form of is a form of financial misconduct when it is related to a crime.
Yeah, so him purchasing
Okay.
a knife. Yeah, that's what
That
I
makes
was reading.
sense.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes total sense.
a
Okay.
forensic accountant investigated financial misconduct or crimes.
That
Okay, so that would be the police report
okay.
then, possibly.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes,
well then
but
that clears that up.
Yep. I'm not going to look any more into that because I believe you. That sounds
Legit.
like it could work right now. My brain
Yeah.
is just baffled. I
It's
Googled
very
what
logical.
I'm still just stuck on what is incomplete about it. No.
Yeah, I don't
It
know.
says incomplete record, so like what's not complete about it?
Yeah, if she wants to. I'm not sure if she wants to.
Yeah, I'll
But
jump
yeah,
down.
She said she's
if
at the
Morgan,
airport.
if oh, okay.
She said I would love to, but I'm at the airport. But if you change your mind,
Safe travels.
I was gonna say
I would
I'm
like
gonna jump down anyway in case anybody wants to come up. I saw Nikki in here; she might want to come up.
Well, I mean,
So
we
Thanks
have
for coming
enough
up, Liz.
boxes. You don't
thanks
Well,
have
for
thanks for
to.
having
coming
me.
thank
up.
you.
Of course.
I'll see y'all later.
We have enough
Alrighty,
boxes.
thank
You don't
you.
have to
Hey,
leave.
Justice.
Yeah, you don't have to leave there. Okay.
Well, she gone.
She was already gone by the time I start
Yeah,
talking.
so that's what it said, Morgan, was that it was incomplete. And I guess they didn't want. Now, when you just said that you Googled that, that makes more sense why they wouldn't want that. They don't want that in there. But yeah, it did say it was incomplete
Can you guys hear me?
because it
Oh,
shows his
hi,
ads on
Morgan.
Amazon.
Can you hear me? Sorry, I don't know if you can even hear me.
Yeah, I can
It
hear
was a
you.
little muffled at first, but it's better
Okay,
now.
You're
okay,
good.
so what I hear, I'm just going to go on and say this because it's so annoying to type it in the comments. Essentially, what I heard and read and interpreted from this was that the defense is considering it incomplete because it shows the record of the advertisements that, like, when you go on your Amazon, it shows you advertisements, like, on the side, right? Well, the advertisements were for the KNIFE. And so when you look at this record, it shows all these AI generated advertisements, but it doesn't really show like a purchase. So it does show what that tells us, if that's true, is that the AI ads were generated from his recent search history, right? So he was looking at those things prior to even going on Amazon, and when they looked at his Amazon, that popped up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so it's kind of like, yeah, it does.
So
And I
like
know
they're
most of you
claiming
guys
it's
couldn't
in,
hear her. I don't think most of everybody could
yeah,
hear you, but what she's
that's okay.
saying,
I can repeat it. Yeah, repeat it for me.
yeah, yeah, what she was saying is that it was like AI was generating it for it were ad pop-ups, and that's why, and that's just what I heard from what you were saying. I heard most of
So
it.
So like
Sorry.
rather than like a complete like receipt of purchase on Amazon, it shows like his search history. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
So the defense is
it's
claiming it's incomplete because it's not actually showing the purchase.
it's not actually showing the purchase, she says. It's showing his search history. And that's why it's showing that it's incomplete and they don't want it shown. Is that right? Did I get that right? That's what I think I heard. Can you hear me? Yes, she said
She
yes.
said yes.
What's
Okay.
confusing to me about that, right, is I understand what she's saying, absolutely. But would that not also pertain to his actual purchase, right? Like they're causing a fluff because this quote unquote second time around he didn't actually purchase, which okay, makes sense, that's incomplete, but wouldn't it make sense to have the first, you know what I Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, is it two different reports? I feel like it should be the same one, but if he already purchased it and was searching for a second one, it doesn't sound like it would be incomplete to me because he did make a purchase. It just wasn't on that second time around. No, because
Okay,
it
she
doesn't
said
show an
it's
actual
relevant because the
purchase.
claim is not complete because it doesn't show an actual purchase, is what she's saying. And
Okay.
that's why it's incomplete.
Okay, so
But
they
do
want
you,
to
do you
show
understand where I'm coming from?
the
Because he
purchase
does
one.
have a purchase of it from March, right? And that was used in the crime. So for, you know what I mean?
Right.
Okay. What you're saying is making sense, right? It absolutely makes sense. I'm not questioning you one bit. It's just in my mind, it's telling me,
Yeah,
well,
so
he
I
did
think
actually buy something.
what she's saying, and let me just, and Morgan, you tell me if I'm on the right
That's
path.
true. Yeah.
It's kind of like if
Premeditation.
you're on different things on your phone and you're shopping and you're looking at stuff, and then you're on Facebook and you have different ads pop up for the same thing you've been looking at.
Right.
It
Right.
tells us we know that somebody's been searching for something because things are popping up. Okay, Morgan says yes, that's kind of
Right.
exactly like what I'm talking about. So, where he purchased the K bar in March of 2022, we know that he searched for it again after the murders because of the ads, the pop ups, things like that. Is that right, Morgan? Did I get that right? Am I on the right track? I think I am.
Exactly. She
No,
said
I just
exactly.
don't think he's that damn stupid.
Well, some people might surprise you.
They want to they want to show
Yes.
premeditated behavior. Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
God, you're gonna
Okay.
buy one in March. You're gonna do this in November. Then you're gonna, and then when did he? How soon afterwards, after the unalivens, did he search again?
Let me get a date for you. It's from before to after. I believe the
It
cutoff
says
date was like
November
December
6th.
6th. I think it's
Oh, see, I
November
thought it was,
1st through December 6th.
yeah. I was going to say, I thought it was November 6th,
Okay,
but yes.
okay. So the unaliven happened November
13th.
13th.
Yep.
Okay, and he searched again when?
It's either November 1st or November 6th through I'm looking right now to
Why would he be
clarify. I don't want to
searching?
tell you the wrong information.
Why would he
That
be?
was before.
Oh,
Why
here it
would he be
is.
searching November the 1st through the 6th if it happened after the 13th? And I mean, give him the,
Because he already bought it
okay.
in March.
So
So
he
he's
made
searching
plans that,
again. They're just saying in the scope,
so what you're,
Okay,
like,
so
because
hear
they're
me
just giving
out.
like a
I'm
general.
sorry.
Hear me out. Okay,
No,
so so the searches were before the murders. Is that what
Yeah.
we're saying?
Hold on.
November
So
the
he
1st through
so
the
he
6th.
made a purchase, but then he also searched again after the purchase before the murders.
I got it right
no,
here. Hold on.
they're saying it, but around the time of the murder, he also made a second search.
Okay, hold
Okay,
on. I
They,
got it. I got
right.
it. I literally got it right in front of me. So,
Okay.
this included temporal limitations based on the officer's investigation, which limited the search from March 20th, 2022 through March 30th, 2022. In parentheses, time it was known Brian Kohlberger purchased a K-bar weapon with sheath and sharpener from Amazon.com.
Mhm.
And November 1st, 2022 through December 6th, 2022, time right before and after the unalivings. Kohlberger's entire click history, items not related to weapons and accessories, was not relevant. So essentially, they're saying, I think why they did it before and after is to kind of prove, like, if it wasn't done before the 13th, but it was done after, it just further proves what he's doing, right? Or if it was done right before and
Same
then
scenario.
this happened, right? Like he knew that he was going to need a replacement either before or after
Yeah,
is how I'm
and that's what
interpreting that.
Morgan was saying, I think, is they're trying to prove premeditation, and that does make sense to me,
Yeah.
whereas maybe she's trying to use that in her well, that stumps me again. Why? Okay, if you're using the defense that somebody framed your client, why wouldn't you want to use that?
Right.
That doesn't make sense to me. And I know a lot of you, listen, I'm leaning towards the state like a lot of people are, and I know a lot of people think that I'm telling you guys, the reason we're so divided in this is because he's smarter than people are giving him credit for. That is my opinion. I just feel that way.
I think he's
I
very
feel that
smart.
way. I think he's very intelligent and people are not giving him enough credit. That is why we're so divided in this. Um, I don't know, y'all. This is crazy. Crazy.
It's going to be a long summer.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we're going to be busy from
A
now
hundred
until.
percent playing games. Yeah. But that's just my
Um,
opinion. Maybe, I don't know. It's
I saw
crazy.
someone ask a question that is kind of off what we're talking about, but I don't want to pass it by and ignore it. Kelly said, "Why do you think they pulled DoorDash records to the house starting so far back?" So what I think they did is kind of what they did with everything else is they did like a generic thing, right? Like I would like all of the records for this address ever, right? And then when they get all of that information, they're going to be able to see patterns, who's ordering and stuff like that. Like even if the roommates weren't going there, but they're going to be able to narrow it down after they get like the totality of it. And we've seen them do that with a lot of other things. Like we've seen them do that with Amazon. We've seen them do that with AT&T records. We've seen them do that
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
with Google and everything. So they're going to ask for a generic, and then once they get that, if they see anything relevant, they're going to kind of narrow down that search if they need more. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, process of elimination.
So I think that's why it went all the way back to 2019. I think 2019 is when people started ordering stuff from there. You know what I mean? And maybe they did before that. I don't know. But I think it was just give me everything you got so I can go through this and then we'll narrow it down.
Right.
Oh my God.
I'm exhausted.
It's kind of making me want me.
That's
It's kind of
draining.
making me want to change my mind, but it's not going to happen tonight. Oh,
What are we gonna do after this is all over with, y'all? We're not gonna know what to do with ourselves. We've
We're
been
going to
doing
find
this
a
for
new
two and a
one.
half years.
I'm
What are
sure
we
we'll
gonna do?
find something. We'll find
I'm
something.
sure we will.
We'll be trying to figure out about them pyramids.
Hey, Kimber. We'll have to start talking about Timothy Hazlitt, okay? Because that trial can be in December.
Oh yes, that's
After this is over,
the
we
barrel
can
one,
start on
right?
Timothy.
That
That's
Is that
was,
the Blue
the
Barrel
the
Killer.
right,
Yeah.
right.
yeah, okay, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I know I started getting into that one and like,
I get in a really dark space when I get into that one. And I had to take a break. I need to get back on that.
yeah, we can
Yeah.
always move to
It's so
Mississippi.
bad.
We can always move to Mississippi. I mean, we just found
Yes.
that a funeral home director was um, working out of a damn what do you call those storage buildings? They found they found three bodies in a storage building. I mean, he was getting ready for funerals and everything
damn.
else. Look it up.
Oh my gosh. Whatever
Yeah.
happened to all of those? Whatever happened to all of those bodies that were found a few months ago that were unearthed? Tina, do you remember what I'm
What?
talking about?
No, wait, what?
Was
Weren't
that
there like 20 something bodies that were found and like in a not
And the
far from where you live months ago in a field or something?
oh yeah. That was not far from me. Yeah, they were found and they had been buried and all of that kind of stuff, and the families didn't know that they were deceased. Yeah. No, nothing's happened. I hadn't heard anything on that. But this guy it just came out yesterday. I mean, he had a funeral home, his license had been revoked, and people were paying him. I mean, how do you pay somebody knowing that their license, I mean, every time I've had to go to the funeral home, I've had to sit down and I went to the funeral home, right? And I made arrangements and all this kind of stuff. Well, look it up in Mississippi. I think it was Greenville, Mississippi. This dude, I mean, he was getting paid for it, and they found the bodies in a storage building.
Right.
I have a question. Um,
Hi, Kimberly.
uh, hey, God, now I get up here and I forget what the heck is going on with me.
You wanted
Um,
to know about the Idaho 4 update? We've been talking about it all night. You came in
yes,
late.
sorry, Grant had his surgery yesterday. He's doing really good,
Oh,
but
is he doing okay? Good.
yeah, he's doing great. He's just a typical man, that can't be left alone, and I'm at home and he's there. So, yeah,
Been thinking about y'all.
girl, I've been praying for you too. I appreciate it. So, what did I miss in that little nutshell, if you can, for like a minute?
I don't know. Who wants to give her a good brief synopsis? I'm not good at
Um,
that. Anybody?
well,
Not
in
me.
the last couple of weeks, we've got at least over 100 new documents, and each one is ranging from 2 pages all the way up to like even 70, if not more. So we've gotten quite a bit. A lot of arguing back and forth about like timing advance records and alternate perpetrator and all of these things. We got quite a bit of information. Excuse me. Like we've got one of the big things for me that I am just so hyper focused on is we got a lot of the accuracy of the surveillance cameras that he was supposedly found on. We've got the car activity that they were seeing in those cameras, which was huge. We've gotten some things about certain DNA, like DNA under one of the victim's fingernails was inconclusive. They're trying to get that thrown out. We definitely have confirmation that he purchased the mask that was seen, and as well the weapon with sheath and sharpener. That was also another huge one. It's really a lot of arguing back and forth, and they're giving us these little bits of information
Hmm.
scattered throughout. But yeah, I don't.
I
It's
appreciate
hard.
that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I've missed especially the past, I'd say, week, of updates, and so yeah, I appreciate that. Um, wow, I can't believe we're here. Like it
I
seems
know
like
we're
we
in the
should have
home
already been
stretch.
here. Yeah,
Hmm.
I feel like the families have waited way too far or way too long to get, justice in any type of way, but
Yeah.
that's my opinion. And then at the same time, I feel like it just happened. You
It
know,
does feel
um,
like it just
it's
happened. I think
surreal.
we all
Yeah.
just, yeah,
I
So
it's
don't want to cut
crazy.
anybody off. But War Deadpool, he's asking who's trying to get it thrown out with the fingernail because that could help his case. Well, that's the funny thing is his lawyer is trying to get that thrown out because it was inconclusive. So it's not one way or the other. They can't prove whether it was or wasn't him, and they're still trying to get that thrown out, which is wild to me because
Yeah.
inconclusive can help his case.
And we had a really good discussion on that earlier
Yeah,
tonight about
yes,
the
we
nail
did.
clippings and why is it that I think for most of us, it's very interesting that only one was named. Okay, well, if you're going to focus on one, that there was not any DNA, why not name the other victims too? Did their nail scraping show something that she doesn't want to bring attention to? But
that's
anyway, y'all can talk. I need to take my dog out, so but that we did have a good conversation about that earlier.
Yeah.
Or is that part
Right,
still,
Rosalie.
or is that part still sealed where we can't see the rest?
that's what I was gonna ask.
That's what
That's
I'm thinking.
probably, yeah. That's what I think. I think there's a lot of it that's sealed that's going to come out, and the things that they're trying to get thrown out now, they're trying to make them, um, what's the word? A public, almost like a memory where you put something in the back of your head, and then later on it comes to surface. I
Right.
think that's what they're doing here with that. And I could be wrong, but I do believe that it's got to be somewhere. Someone's got some somewhere. If that makes sense. Anyway, I just want to come in and ask that question for you. Thank you for catching me up. I will. I'm gonna go. I'm about.
No problem. I probably missed a bunch. Like I said, it's been so much that it's kind of hard to give a brief synopsis like that. But those definitely were some of the big things that are standing out to me.
Don't forget
Obviously,
your map, Heinzie.
oh, my map! I
How
love
could
my
you
map.
Oh my
forget?
God, yes.
Oh, fuck, I thought she said her mask.
No,
Tell
no.
Grant I said hey, and I'm thinking about him. Kimber,
Huh?
you still up here?
She's here. She's just muted.
She's muted. Yeah. If it
Um,
stays sealed, would they ever release it to the public? I think that's going to come out in trial for sure. I don't know that we're ever going to get like the reports and such, like public access like that. But if there is anything, it's going to come out in trial. And then if for some reason, Brian stands up and says, I'm guilty, so we don't get any of the evidence in the trial, which very well could happen. I don't think we would ever see anything like that. It would stay a mystery forever. Oh, that was one thing I forgot to tell her. See, there's so much that comes out. It's hard to give a synopsis.
So
Make
much,
his
I know.
thesis. Yeah.
Yeah.
His crime scene, whatever final. Kelly, I don't know how that works. If you can FOIA like a request of, I guess that would be during like an autopsy or the DNA. I don't know if that's possible. I really don't. I know that they have standards on what can and cannot be disclosed. I don't know if that would qualify under something like HIPAA. You know what I mean? I know it's probably not HIPAA, but something along those lines. But I have no idea, truly. I also remember in one of the docs they disclosed what happened at Costco. They sure did. That was in the FBI. I actually have that pulled up as well. How he tried to go inside, he couldn't get inside, so he then turned around and left, and that's when he went to the U.S. Chef store, and he drove around in that parking lot for a little bit, and then he drove out, came back towards Costco, and went to Albertsons. All of that is in my map, by the way.
Okay, I'm gonna go. My niece just sent me a screenshot and a message. They're watching us on a big projector outside on their carport. The whole
well,
damn
hi.
this
Well, I hope
way.
I didn't make an
Hey,
ASS out of
everyone.
myself.
Huh?
I said, I hope I didn't make an ASS out of myself.
Tina's
No,
getting
I mean,
messages.
my messages. I think that's so funny because they're sitting there watching us on a big projector. That is hilarious. Anyway, so she sent me a message and they're going to bring the projector to me and they're coming over. That's crazy.
That's cool.
That is
Just tell him I
funny.
said hey.
Okay,
We
we
said
might all have
hi.
movie night, y'all. How about that?
How about that?
Enjoy.
Y'all, this was good. I mean, I enjoyed this tonight, So
Thanks for coming
I'm
up.
glad.
Yeah, thank you.
absolutely.
It was good.
Thanks
Yeah.
for visiting.
All right. All right, guys. I'll see y'all later.
All right,
See
bye-bye.
ya.
Bye.
In
Someone
the club,
asked
we all fam.
what happened at Costco. It's really nothing too crazy. So at 12:34 and 15 seconds, an individual matching the description of Kohlberger enters the main entrance to Costco. The individual appears to approach the front door from the northeast portion of the parking lot. And then at 12:34:57, an individual matching the description of Kohlberger appears to be denied entry into Costco and leaves out the entrance and returns to the northeast section of the parking lot. I skipped where he parked, but otherwise that was generally it. He was seen parking, going in, trying to get in. It seems he was denied. He turned around and left. That's it.
Interesting. Yeah, like did
That
he not know he needed a membership to Costco?
that's almost what I'm thinking. Like, did he think that it was just like a Walmart or something? You know what I mean? Where you can just go in and mess around or whatever. Because they won't make you leave if you want to get a membership, right?
Yeah.
And I don't remember who, but someone also mentioned, I believe they will let you go to the food court without a membership if you're looking to get food. So I think it was maybe he didn't know he needed a membership, didn't want to pay for it. So he's like, screw it, I'm out of here.
Yeah, because honestly, I get hot dogs from Costco for lunch, and I don't have a Costco membership.
Oh.
So War Deadpool asks if they say the car description. All in this document that they're saying is it is a vehicle matching the description of vehicle 1, which is the suspect vehicle, and what it's doing. So no, they don't describe like it looks like this, but they say that it matches the description of suspect vehicle, essentially, in like all of this. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to take over. I'm just looking through questions and trying to...
Girl, take over.
I know you don't mind, but I feel like I'm talking over everybody else.
I don't mind.
Raw Lily, that was on November 13th. Yes, that was 12:30 in, I guess, afternoon. It was a little afternoon on November 13th, so it was a few hours after. Yeah. Yes, that's how I understand it as well. War Deadpool is that the suspect vehicle 1 is the Elantra, but they don't come right out and say that. They just say the vehicle 1.
Morgan said, I'm calling it. He wanted vegan hot dogs.
I mean, those hot dogs are so good. They have good food there.
They do.
Ours requires a membership now for the food court as of January 1st this year. Maybe they changed it for all of them. We have a membership, so I have no idea. I just know that somebody had mentioned that. Oh, 23 times near the house. Good point, Rebecca. We found that out as well. Within 100 meters of the house. And that was 23 times. And here, I'm going to actually pull this up on my map so you guys can see this. I went into Google Earth and I did a 100-meter radius. So I'm going to show you just how close it is because, I mean, when you hear 100 meters, you're like, oh, that's this huge, area. And it's really not.
Are you going to show something? I need to make you big?
Give me a second here. Okay. I'll get situated. Oh man, hold on a second. It seems so blurry. Let me wipe off this camera. This is a really old iPad, by the way, so I apologize if it is blurry. I'm trying to back it up to where it won't be, but I don't know if I'm going to have that luck. You'll still be able to see it. There we go.
Here, hang
on. Okay, so obviously right here, that's the 1122, and then this pink circle here is the 100-mile radius. And now that might not be exactly from the middle of the house.
Meter, not mile.
Meter. Did I say mile? Yeah, I meant meter. I'm sorry. No, yes, 100
okay.
meter.
I just wanted to clarify.
I was like, dang.
No, yeah, sorry. Meter. But you know what I mean? You hear 100 meters.
I know what you mean.
For most of us, it sounds like this huge thing, but essentially it's really not.
It's really not. It's a small...
It's this tiny little area. Like, we're not even getting over here to the Sigma Chi. It's tiny.
Yeah, he was close.
Yeah. He was very close.
Very close.
Yep. So it's basically 360 feet. Yeah.
What was the time frame on that again?
From July 6th, no, July, I'll tell you in a second. Hold on.
23 times. More.
It was 23 times. I got the document here. I believe it was July 9th through November 7th. But let me get this up so I can completely clarify that. No, not that one.
July 9th to November 7th, M said.
Okay, I was right. Yep.
Okay, so when did he choose? Because he graduated in June from DeSales, so then he moved really quick, it sounds like, before he started in August
Yeah.
at WSU. So if
Yep.
that's July 9th, he must have gotten their site, or they must have gotten his sites quick. So like, I wonder when he moved, like what the date was that he actually moved. I wonder if we could find out when he rented that apartment when he moved in.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I wonder if
Let me ask.
your friend ChatGPT knows.
I don't
Look, I
care
use
how helpful
AI
it
too
is.
much. I do.
It still scares the crap out of me. I don't care what anybody says.
Me too.
You want me to shrink you, Heinzie? You're done showing her?
I mean, I can obviously pull it back up whenever you guys want me to, but yeah, I personally am done unless somebody wants to keep it up.
Did someone say Chat GPT? Odd Files. I think he did a visit out there prior to moving, and that's when he set his sights. You can come up if you want, girl.
Yeah, I think you're right, because he didn't move into that apartment until August. So he must have.
August
That could be.
22nd, August
Well, yeah,
2022.
yeah. I just looked it up. That's what it said. So yeah, Alyssa's probably right. In the visit, maybe that's when he. Canvassing.
Right, and that's so wild. Like,
Well, M says that he moved to Pullman in late June. So where did he? Because it says. It's not super well documented, is what it says. It's just basing it off of his start in August of 2022.
Shannon said, didn't BK have a doctor's appointment after the unalivings as well?
I think that was speculated. I don't remember if that was confirmed or not. I don't remember. I do remember some people talking about that, but I don't remember if that was true or not.
Hey, we're dead.
Yeah, M says it's not confirmed.
Hey,
Meowdy,
friend.
everybody.
Hey.
So I see that in July, Brian mentioned that he was searching the area where to move to.
In July.
Yep.
And that's really interesting to me because he graduated in June in Pennsylvania. So that leaves a little window when you're talking about the distance there and moving and deciding on your.
Yeah.
Of course, then again, I mean, he might have just. I don't think that they were all intended targets. I think it was just one. I don't think he intended on all of them until it just happened. And that's
hey,
my personal
girl.
opinion.
Okay, I said that wrong. So it is saying that he moved there in August. In July of 2023, he mentioned that he was looking there actively several months before.
In July of 2023 doesn't make sense,
So,
though.
no, it doesn't.
Right.
So,
Yes, that's when he gave his interview, I guess, of saying that he was looking a
What
few months
interview?
prior to moving in August of 2022.
I think I'm just gonna hop on
What
really quickly.
interview?
Yeah, what I'm curious as to what interview you're referencing.
M says after after the 23rd, so the last week of June is what M is saying.
So I'm gonna being crazy, but I just want to hop up and say hi, and then
Hi.
I was gonna say I think that he like so when I was going to college, I did college visits to scope out the campus.
Uh-huh.
I think just one second.
It will not let me to put it in, but it's WNEP.
But I don't know how he would have done an interview if he's behind bars. Like who would
Agreed.
he
But
who would he have done the interview with?
so it's
Because he's
some
been
news
kind
station
of
is the one that's claiming it.
he's been
Who?
mum about this whole thing. But what I was gonna say was, I think that like so when I went to college, I did college visits and I went and visited the campus. What I think happened was he went on this visit to decide that this is where he was gonna go. And it could have
Mm-hmm.
been maybe just a little bit prior to all of his suspicious purposes or purchases, you know. And then he decided then that he was going to go there. And maybe while he was there, he's vegan. He's scoping out the vegan restaurants. And lo and behold, there's the Mad Greek. And Maddie works
Mm-hmm.
there and has that interaction with him. He
Mm-hmm.
goes back and
Yeah.
has decided, hey, that's where I'm going. I'm going to start buying all my stuff.
Good. That's a good, yeah.
Huh.
So you think that he was visiting way back in
I mean, it seems kind
early
of
in the year, possibly?
yes, it
Like,
seems kind of crazy that he like graduated and then immediately moved out there. I don't know of many people who do that. And like when we did our like campus tours, they were all in like the early spring. So maybe they do the same thing. Like that's when they
yeah, I
have
mean,
their tour guides there, you know, showing
right.
them around.
I thought that he probably had, decided on that, but they've got well before then. Um,
I mean,
graduated and then yeah.
he's moving all the way across all the way across the country. He's gonna want to
Right.
go
Check it
see it before
out.
he makes that
Mm-hmm.
decision. And that's always been in the back of my mind. And now that they're saying these purchases were made in this time frame, it's kind of like, if he went and he set his sights, and it could have been somebody completely different, but then it turned into one of the girls, you never know. He came back and started preemptively buying his things and sporadic purchases to cover his trail, and then he
Oh my
already has
God.
it when he moves there.
I just had goosebumps. Yeah, I mean, like, can you imagine if premeditation months ahead of time?
That's how I am with it being
Yeah.
some of these
That
purchases.
just,
If that's what it was, I'm with you. Like that's
I mean,
insane.
we have to think kind of like him in this aspect of he knew everything that was needed to accomplish a crime. And
yeah, I
could
believe
it be
100%.
could it
Mm-hmm.
be a
Yeah.
coincidence that he bought them that early in advance? Sure, but I kind of feel like he already had it in his mind
Me too.
that
Well, he
I'm
did
going to
Yeah.
go
have it
out
in his
there.
mind. He wrote a paper on it.
Right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he wrote the crime scene
Yeah.
walkthrough. So he knew what he
Mm-hmm.
was doing. Like you have to think if you were going to do what he did, it would be smart to buy all of these things in advance sporadically with other
Sporadically.
items to explain away why you're buying these things. So the K bar is because he was going camping and he bought it with
Right. Which
with
is
bear
not, yeah.
spray and a couple of other
Mm-hmm.
things. And then when he got the mask, oh, he can conveniently say that goes along with my camping gear. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that it was very well, like he meticulously bought these things, whether or not the girls were in his sight at that time. I don't like, I think so,
I don't
but I
know.
think that it was, he knew he was going to go out there and he knew that that's what he was going to do. And he just got it all because if you're buying it right before it happens, how suspicious? How
Well, with
suspicious
it,
of you to buy this
yeah.
thing, right? And then it happens a month later.
Well, with the time frame, I mean, I think it's probably, I think we're on the right path there. I mean, if the time frame was the beginning of July to November, radius of that, he they were definitely on his radar before he moved there. I feel like that's safe to assume that they were, or one of them,
And it
or
just took him a
mhm.
while to build
I
up.
think he thought it out. Mm,
Yes. And then
mm-hmm.
now here we are. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say one more thing and then I'm going to hop down.
Okay.
I just saw your TikTok, Peachy, of if he had those things, wouldn't you show that you have them? Where are
Mm-hmm.
they? And
Right.
agreed. You can't tell, like,
Thank you.
if you are claiming your innocence. I saw this crazy post on Facebook in one of the groups that they know he is innocent because he is seeing it through to the end, and that's why he's sitting there, because he's going to solve his own case. I'm sorry, if
No.
I was charged with a quadruple homicide, I would be screaming from the hilltops, hey, I'm innocent. I
Mm-hmm.
have all of this stuff that I can show you. I still have it,
Right.
you know? So that's, yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
Right,
say
and you know
this.
that he's seeing everything too. Sorry, War Deadpool. You know that he's seeing everything too. So in that same sense, like you see what they have stacked against you. Like you know it's game
Mm-hmm.
over if that's the game that you're playing. Like I'd be singing like a
Oh,
canary.
I would too. I would too. I
Me
Right.
was like,
too.
really? You think that he's innocent because he's not singing and he just wants to solve this crime now? No.
Oh,
You know jail
no.
life isn't good for him.
No.
I know people who have worked in the Ada County prison. It's not great.
I
It's not a
think
fun time there.
I mean, I think a lot of you know by now what my theory is. I think the switch flipped for him a long time ago.
Oh yeah, yeah,
He's
Long
yeah.
been
time
wanting
ago.
to do this for a long time, and I think that is why he chose the path in his education that he did. Criminals make mistakes, that's why they get caught. But I do think that that has a lot to do with it, and he has methodically tried to plan this out. And now I just, yeah, he chose one of them.
What you
He
were
could
saying before.
easily he could easily get a lot of money and become famous if he takes the like if this goes to trial, obviously it is, but taking it to trial and he could easily prove that he is not guilty.
But
Like,
do you really think that that is what he would do? Do you like
I think there is people out there like that, yes.
realistically, do you think that that is something that this person would do? Yeah, sure, there's people out there that are like it, but given all that we know about him, I cannot see him sitting there
For 2.5 years.
for 2.5 years getting he's not in Moscow anymore. They aren't getting him special food anymore. The vegan meal at the Ada County prison jail is literally beans and white bread. I mean, he's 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 going through all of this self punishment for what? Like, is that really worth it to sit in jail for 2.5 years, potentially longer if the trial would get delayed, and then risk it on, yeah, maybe the jury will believe that I'm innocent. Like, I can show these things that say, oh, maybe I'm innocent. But, like, realistically, would anybody do that?
Not somebody who's innocent. I think somebody that he would be screaming to the
Not
rooftop. Now, somebody who's guilty and wants to get away with it, yes.
absolutely, but not somebody who's innocent. No, no.
No.
Well,
Mm-mm.
you know, when you're saying before about him screaming from the rooftops that he's innocent, the other thing is too, like, and I had said this to somebody before,
He didn't even
like
do that. The judge did. I'm sorry.
my mom,
Sorry.
my brother, my cousin, they would all petition for me. be going to the news that I've been arrested for and I'm innocent. They would be
Right.
going out of their way, even if they were told by a lawyer not to do it. No
Exactly.
speech.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if we look at the document that says when he purchased the K bar, it says in the footnotes that a witness with information who knows that he bought this item turned him in. And who would have that knowledge and know that it was specifically him buying from the shared family Amazon account, a family member? So clearly his family doesn't believe that he is innocent either.
Right.
Yeah, witnesses plural. Also, can you unblock
And
me?
they
I
are
miss seeing
so
your content.
quiet. Do I?
Would you say, Liz?
Asked if would unblock me
Oh.
from way back when in the day. Yes, I think, I mean, clearly, like you said, Velma's, my family would be, if they thought that I was innocent, they would be screaming it to the media, doing whatever they
Yeah.
can. His parents have not come to a single hearing. Like, his family hasn't visited him. So, I
Um,
mean, to me, that speaks volumes.
that's right. Actually, Nikki said family members going to testify on the docs.
You're unblocked, Alyssa.
Thanks, Em.
And I
I
can't.
hop down.
Oh, you're welcome anytime. You know that.
Thank you for coming up. Sorry I was
Thank
silent.
you.
I was messing around on my phone. I always appreciate
Thank you
your
for coming
insight.
up.
Map. I'm sad I missed the map. We'll have to do it again.
Oh, I mean, all I really added was that that radius circle to show 100 meters around the house.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool.
So
All right.
it's not anything crazy or nothing, but it's
Jules, he's testifying. They're testifying for the state in conjunction with the K-bar knife and the Amazon purchase. Okay. Now I'm gonna hop down. Have a good night,
All
guys.
right. Bye, hon.
You too, babe.
Good night.
And just real quick, my comment bar is missing. I can't comment unless I reply to anybody. So I just wanted to say thanks everybody for the gifts. That's all. Carry on.
Yes,
yes,
thank
for
you,
me as
everybody.
well. Thank you. I've been staring at the computer, so I've missed a ton of it. So I apologize I didn't call it out, but yes, thank you so much.
Oh,
I also feel that, like, in his history, like how he had lost a lot of weight, and then, now he, like, he supposedly he had special things that he would eat and things like that. And then there was a period of time that he, like, had addiction. And I feel like that was knowing that he had done like a change in a transformation, like body wise and health wise, and everything like that. I feel like part of his addiction might have been him trying to self medicate his feelings.
yeah. I mean, anything's possible, right?
Like if he he controlled the way that he, lost the weight and everything like that, and then he was maybe the feelings that he was having. Now this is, just me, my opinion. Um, maybe he had no way to control it and self-medicate it for a while.
Yeah, this says that it's his struggle began in his high school years, initially with marijuana. Oh, sorry. Um,
Mary
to cope
Jane.
with, yeah, to cope to cope with bullying and social change challenges. Over time, this escalated to the other, leading to a significant problem. And then in 2014, at the age of 19, is where he completed his rehabilitation program and then went back to his family home. And then I guess that's when he went to college because he graduated in 2020 with his bachelor's, and then he got his master's in 2022 in June. Yeah.
Heinzie, we hear your clicking.
Sorry.
You're fine. I was just like, what is that? And I was like, oh, it's Heinzie.
Oh, boy.
Oh, and like because I think Em was saying like he didn't have feelings. That was like one of his things. He talks about he had no feelings. I don't mean feelings like emotional feelings. I mean like I should use a different word, like urges.
I think, and this is in my opinion, whatever the bullying and the things maybe that he endured in high school, probably maybe that was, he started using because of those things. Whatever switch that flipped, I think probably that's when it happened. Because in 2011, um, he was a sophomore. Right? So then he went to Monroe Career Technical Institute. That's where he was enrolled in a law enforcement. It's like a vocational program. It was it was to prepare students for a career path in law enforcement. So it wasn't like a ROTC. It was just something that technical institute offered. It's like a law enforcement vocational program to get them ready. He did that before he went into college. I guess that was before. So he did that, and I guess he was struggling with addiction during that time, because then at 19 is when he went into the rehabilitation. And what I'm reading here says that his interest in the military was in 2011, and then that technical career institute is a secondary school, so it wasn't college. It was like a secondary school.
It's like going to VOTEC almost.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But it doesn't give the dates. I don't have the dates.
Oh, God.
So all that happened around the same.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because so that was 2011 when he was a sophomore. So between 2011 and 2014 is when all of this escalated and went out of control. Because then in 2014 is when he went into the rehab program in 2014. So from 2011 to 2013, those 2 years is when that was a problem. I guess is when that escalated, and he had the majority of those challenges before he went into rehab. Oh, this has been a good live, you guys.
Yeah. It was. I'm actually, I think I'm gonna go. I'm like, I keep muting because I keep yawning. I'm about to fall asleep.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I learned a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Met a few
I don't
new
know,
people
Meg,
in the
about,
comments. Yeah, nice.
yeah. I don't know about the HVAC, but I know when he went into this um program, the Technical Institute, he was removed from that program because there were complaints by other female students against him, and they investigated whatever the complaints were. It doesn't go into a lot of detail, but he was removed from the program.
Yep, it says female complaints. That's what I saw as well.
Yeah. I don't know about the HVAC. And so that was the first time that happened, but then it happened again.
Thank you, Jules.
Yeah, I wish that could be something that could be brought into court, but I know that they're not going to allow that to come in of what the complaints of the other
Right.
I
females
think they
said.
are.
Really?
I think it is going to come in. Hansi, do you remember seeing that in the documents? No, wait a minute.
I was gonna say I don't,
Hang
but
on a second. Maybe they're going to talk about, I think they're going to talk about um his paper that he wrote and his the research.
yeah, I know about that, and I
I
also
think that's what they're going to
believe
talk about. Sorry.
I believe it was the affidavit where they talk about him applying for like the program or whatever with the police department. I believe they're going to bring that in as well, but I don't really know much beyond that. I don't remember seeing much beyond that. What we just mentioned.
Okay, I have probably a dumb ass question.
None of your questions are dumb.
Oh shit, she just. So, okay, so that paper he wrote. When did he write that paper?
Oh, the one that's in the documents recently?
Yeah.
May 5th, 2020. It was May 2020. I might have the day itself wrong, but it was May 2020.
2020. So
yeah,
there
were. I think there were a couple.
Okay, so it was years before the unalivings, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, this is where the dumb question comes in. Probably gonna embarrass myself here. Could that could that potentially be considered like part of like premeditation too? Even though it was like
I see what you're getting at.
I know you
honestly.
I know, Heinzie, I know you're in my head, so
Right. So I don't know if that would qualify, only because technically speaking, that was his area that he was studying in school. So I think there's a fine line. It
I think so
could.
too, but I think that's a good question
That's a
because
great
the
question.
paper was titled Crime Scene Scenario
Yeah.
Final, and the assignment was to detail procedures for securing and investigating crime scenes, emphasizing methods to prevent evidence contamination, is what that paper was about.
Yeah.
And then the second one was a research survey targeting individuals with criminal backgrounds. The survey aimed to understand the thoughts and feelings experienced during the commission of crimes, reflecting his academic focus on criminal psychology. And the exact date of this survey creation is not specified in the available information. So the one you're talking about is probably the first one I just read.
Okay.
Right. And like,
so that's all very interesting to me. For me.
Right.
Yeah, and like Kelly said, and I know I've said this as well before, like none of this like that and the Reddit post and a lot of these other things that he was doing for school, it's not nefarious until you're being looked at for a crime like this. Like all of these papers and his Reddit research or whatever you want to call that, and like the purchase of the whatever, like none of it looks weird until it gets to this. Like I would never think somebody studying criminology look at this paper and be like, what is he doing? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Well, I know. And that's why I've been so hyper focused on his education, because it's not just criminology. Like he got his bachelor's in psychology, then he got his master's in criminal justice, then he went to get his PhD in criminology. Like this is not somebody that's stupid.
Right.
This is somebody that I don't know. This is just me, just my opinions. I've been really hyper focused on all of that and over a long time frame.
But don't you think that could come into both being premeditated, but also give a rational explanation of potential lack of evidence?
Because it's happened, because of the long time frame, because of the 100%.
Right.
And that's M brought up a great point too. Did they get to pick the cause of unalive? Because if they did, and he chose to specifically write about
then that's another red flag.
What he,
Yeah.
And to me, that could show premeditation because he's writing about this. He's obviously writing how you could not contaminate a crime scene, even though he's writing about it in a sense of like law enforcement or the investigators and such.
Right.
That,
Me too,
to
Em.
me, it's so weird that he chose that in his paper and then now he's being charged with that. That's what creeps me out the most about it.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And then you got your like gloves to protect the scene and protective clothing, boot covers, which people have speculated whether or not he was wearing them. We don't know for sure. Eyewear, we don't think he was wearing those, but like the fiber-free overalls, we've speculated
Yeah,
on that
maybe.
before. The face mask, you know what I mean? Like it's
Maybe.
so crazy.
Yeah, maybe
ma-
Goose.
Yeah, so maybe writing it triggered him to thinking about doing it.
That could be too, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even in all my thoughts and stuff, like initially with the mask, I was like, maybe that has nothing to do with it, like you said earlier. And I feel like we talked about that. Like
Yeah.
maybe the mask didn't initially have anything to do with it when that was purchased in January 2022, because it is a common thing, but then you have 2 months later the K bar and the sheath and the sharpener and things like
Right.
I don't know. I
Right.
don't know. But here's the point that, and I know we already talked about this, but the point is all the other things that stack on top of that and those items are missing. Okay,
Right.
well, you can't show me where the K bar is, but where's this mask? It's not in a drawer somewhere. It's not in your sock drawer. It's not like, where's that?
Right.
You can't produce that. Why wouldn't you take it to Washington? It's cold there too, right?
Yeah.
Right. And
Exactly.
not even
like,
that, like they searched his
mm-hmm,
apartment, his car,
mm-hmm.
his parents' house, and it's nowhere. It's just it's just
Yeah,
poof,
both of, I mean,
gone.
Nowhere,
I was
because
gonna
it's
say
probably
both
got
of
biological
residences.
matter on it, and that's just my opinion, for entertainment purposes.
Yeah.
Allegedly, in your opinion.
Allegedly, in my opinion.
Honestly, I think it was really dumb of him to go back to his parents because then it gave them the probable cause to search it because he was physically there after it. And had he had, brought it with him or left it at home or something,
Mm-hmm.
like at his parents, they couldn't have access to it necessarily. But because he then traveled back, they had probable cause to search both places to say, well, it's not here nor your parents.
Right.
What'd you do with it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to say this one thing too, because I saw this a couple of times today in comments and videos and stuff, and I just want to make my statement on this. If I see, this is how ridiculous this is, y'all.
Here she goes.
When somebody is going, when we're basing theories and speculation off of court documents that are known facts, and then I see a comment like, y'all are accusing this man and he hasn't even been convicted yet. The whole state of Idaho is accusing this man of 4 murders. Okay? Like he's facing the death penalty. I ain't the only one. That's it. That's all I wanted to say.
Oh man, I ain't the
Okay?
only one.
Lord
Say it
have
again
mercy.
one more time. Oh, that was
Oh my
fantastic.
god, that's funny.
I mean, what do you mean?
Goose said, "Say that again. Say that again, louder."
Oh,
The whole ass state of Idaho, people.
There it is. Oh man.
Right, Em? Right. And Em said, and the other half are accusing the roommates, which is crazy.
Right.
That's right.
Oh my
I
gosh.
swear.
That was great. Yep, bubbles.
Just,
Bubbles.
it's crazy to me because they're not on trial. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get off of here and I'm gonna go over to Peachy's page and check her one video. I'd like to catch up on some of those comments.
Some of them.
They do, Kelly. You're right.
The spreadsheet
They
is my
do.
favorite. The spreadsheet one was my favorite.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know. He was in here
Yeah.
earlier. Yeah, she
Spreadsheets
didn't
are
stay
not
long.
receipts.
Mm-mm.
So.
I didn't even see the comments from that person because I was just staring at the screen. I know that they were in there. You know what I mean? Like I saw a
Mm-hmm.
message, but I didn't see anything commented.
It's
I was
okay.
low key waiting for it. Not gonna lie.
Mm.
Mm,
Oh gosh.
it didn't happen. That's good. That's good. Kept it Gucci. I think it's been a great live. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's
Me
been
Yeah,
really
too.
me
nice.
too.
It's been
Me too.
good.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you. You
Thank you.
hosted.
Yeah, no,
You
thank
mean.
you.
Yeah, I do that occasionally. I was
Man.
just like, I'm getting so pissed off at all. I just want to go live where it's safe. I'm going live, but somebody got to get in the box because I'm not talking.
I will definitely join a box.
Yeah.
So,
I think it
thank
went
you.
well. Everybody was,
Yeah.
well behaved.
Yeah, I think so
Peachy was sitting down, giving us the chat GPT. She was doing good.
Oh, let us know, Nikki. Let us know.
Yeah, Nikki, I'm down. This is my prime time. This is when I'm
Of course
alive.
I do, Goose. I always want you
Yeah,
up
let
here.
us know, Nikki. I don't know. I've never been one to really like to go live. I mean, I will. Y'all just let me know. We can take turns, but I don't love it.
You
I
won't
don't
find me
Personally.
either.
hosting. No, I'm not a hoster. I can't do that.
No.
Yeah, let us know.
I'm totally down. I will. You don't even have
I
to
mean,
let me up.
I will rotate and host. Y'all want to do that? I will do it. I just,
Right.
let me be the last one on the list. Just kidding.
I was gonna say, please don't make me host because then I gotta go live like what 3 days to be able to get guests up in the boxes, and
Yeah, I was
I
gonna say
can't handle that
3.
pressure.
I know, me
It's
Mm-hmm.
either.
too
I
much.
can't. Yes. So I'm out.
No, I can't do it. I'll get up here
We'll
all
do
day
it.
hosting my own.
Well,
No, I
Take me off
can't.
the list, Coach. Sorry.
Uh,
well, and I always say I'm going to try to do better, and then I don't because I just don't want to. But I mean, I will. I will do it, and I have. Um,
oh God.
y'all just gotta like, find under me, and then I might do it.
We got your
That's
back,
all.
word Deadpool. Don't worry about it. Says I can, but I'm not educated enough in this stuff.
We'll educate. We'll educate you. We'll help.
Stick with
Yeah, I
us.
got.
We'll learn you. Come on.
You got lots of people around you, War Deadpool, that know the facts. They just interpret it differently.
I will
Yeah.
tell y'all, I have thought about working with somebody to do a YouTube channel.
That's good.
Do it. I think you'd
You
be good at
should.
it.
Yeah, I agree.
You
I
I'll
just
should.
have
subscribe.
I just have to find the right person that, you know, actually knows like really good the lingo terms and the law words and all that type of stuff.
She's right
Right,
there.
right.
She's right there in a box right on top of you. That girl right there.
You shut your mouth. I can't handle that pressure.
I
I'll come
know.
up.
I know.
I'll shoot. Listen, I just made a fool of
You
myself tonight. I
should.
missed a whole paragraph about a police report on one of
Well,
like
listen,
the
we
most
really do
important
need to.
arguments we have.
Well, some of us are going to really need to start trying to utilize that YouTube a little bit more often too, because I saw earlier that the April the 5th is
Yeah,
going to be our last day.
yeah.
Yes.
We got another week
We only
left.
have like another week left, and then we're losing TikTok. Is what I saw.
Wait,
They'll
or
extend it.
Karen Reed? Are you kidding me? I'm gonna go
That's what I
mental.
saw.
But hold on 1 second, because why did we? I know we all got it too. Why did
Yeah,
we
that's what
get
I
that
saw.
screenshot of the terms and conditions pop up, and that's going into effect on the 26th?
Uh,
Why are we getting it if it's going to be gone? That's what I
so
want to know.
so
I don't know why can we still order stuff on the TikTok shop? I still haven't gotten my order from February 28th from one company.
I can fill
I
Girl.
y'all in on
finally
all
sent a
this if y'all
message
want.
today. I was
Go
like,
Yes,
ahead, War
please.
Deadpool. Tell us.
Yes,
So yeah, I've
please.
done enough research on this one. All right, so um Trump already announced that he has full authority to extend it. He will extend it if need be. It's no longer about that he needs to see them working. It was just like if he feels it needs to be extended, it will. So that tells me that he's going to extend it. As far as this whole entire copyright stuff, what they're going after is people like me big time.
Yeah, I heard
And
they're like not even giving warnings anymore. They're just going to
nope.
basically ban you. Yeah.
Yep. And so that's already, I've already had IP strikes, and I was like, what is an IP strike? And that's their copyright crap. So, and they've taken down my old videos, like even videos that had 500,000 to more views, that they've targeted, and I don't even get the chance to appeal it. So, I mean, eventually you will see me gone off of here. Not because I want to, but because that's what they're doing to people. And
So they're
they,
doing it based off IP addresses?
yep.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
So,
that's
Who's
new.
yep.
blocking like that though?
So, but it's okay.
Just get you a new phone.
I've, I've got tricks up my
Just,
sleeves.
yeah, just get you a new
Come on,
phone.
I had a Ward Deadpool Canada account, so, and I was in
Well,
I
don't
think
Australia
so
tell
with
too,
you
them.
guys.
Nikki. I think so too. If we get an extension, it's going to be an extension for the next time. Eventually, our extensions are going to run out. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think we're going to have TikTok forever. I think it's you
I think
know
people are getting tired of TikTok.
Well, Neptune's right around the corner, so
Neptune is already. Yeah, I'm already in there.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
already seeing it, and it's. I went in today, and yeah, I think people are going to like it.
Yeah.
I went from over 500 people subscribed to me down to less than 100 people subscribed to me now
Dang.
On
in less than a
YouTube
month.
or here? Here or on
So,
YouTube?
yeah, on here on TikTok.
Oh, oh, gotcha.
Yeah, on YouTube, YouTube's another story, but I just need to push that over there. Like that's something that's a lot better. But yeah, on here, well, so without saying what my income is on just TikTok, I'll say I have gone down to probably making anywhere from like maybe 3% of what my average was over a 3-year course. So in the last 3 months, it's dropped dramatically.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's why you don't
Mm.
see me posting every day. I just don't care to anymore because what do I need to post when I used to post? Like what I could do in one day at times is, man, it would surpass what I would make in these last 3 months.
Yeah, I don't make any money on TikTok unless somebody sends me a rose.
So
I don't do
that's
any of
kind of
that.
where I'm thinking of doing the YouTube
Mm-hmm.
and doing the true crime stuff because I know that I can delve into it and ask oddball questions, but I just have to have someone that's on y'all's level type smartness.
Listen, YouTube, be ready because it's wild and over there.
Yeah, YouTube
It
is a
sure
little scary.
is.
And whatever you do, don't say you came from TikTok.
Yeah.
No.
Don't, don't
You will
say it.
be exiled to the island.
They don't
Mhm.
bother. So far, YouTube, like I've said it, they have not messed with me. And there's been some stuff that I've said just like I don't hold back anything over there. I just say it. Like not
Well,
one time have I
good.
got a warning.
Well, there's
Yeah, that's
channels that don't like us because of a few individuals' actions.
Yeah.
It's
So
a little profile-y to me, but whatever.
They say those TikTokers. Oh gosh.
I
All
had
right,
fun
guys.
with I had fun
They
with
not
that
like
Natasha
us.
girl.
They not like us. They not like us. I'm just
No,
kidding.
Oh
they're
no,
not.
this is gonna be the second
Yeah.
time that's stuck in my head today.
YouTube is way worse, but I'm gonna
Oh
get going,
man.
guys. I'm sleepy. It's
Okay.
Thank
late.
Good
you.
night. Thank you
All
for
right. Good
hosting
night,
this
everyone. Thank
tonight. Good
you.
night, everybody.
Good night.
I'm
Night.
Thank
watching
you
for y'all to go
all.
live.
Thank you.
Thank you guys
Throwing
from
it
the
out there.
panel. Thank you for the gifts.
Thank you for the
Yes,
Thank
thank
gift.
you for
you.
being respectful. It was really awesome.
Good
Yep.
night,
Agreed.
everybody.
All right.
Good
Good
night, y'all.
night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Somebody go live.
Agreed. I'm looking
You.
for the next person to